not? Can you hear me now? Yes, you can. Hello! Welcome,
Hello,
folks.
everybody.
Welcome, friends. You can't
Hello.
hear them, unfortunately. I
Hello.
decided not to unmute them.
He's
Or
super
decided not to
smart.
mute them, which was a mistake. And I regret it every day of my life. But we're going to power through anyway, as I do
You
every
should regret
morning.
taking our voice away. It's rude.
Sometimes it's
This is
necessary.
oppression.
You know what?
He's
literally
taking our
deplatforming
voice
me.
away.
He's deplatforming us, guys. God.
Don't like this.
I just listened to all of that from the stream perspective, and I loved every second of it.
He's muting it right now.
No, you
bet
guys
you.
are still unmuted. I'm just
We love it.
sharing a bunch of posts out to the world so they can come join us for yet another session of jokes, tales, and critical fails here at crispy_VDL, where you, my friends, can also join the action at my Start Playing page, which you'll find in the Twitch chat by just typing !link. You'll see there my link tree. You'll find all sorts of social media fun, as well as, of course, Start Playing, where you can join a campaign very much like this one, hosted by myself, and set in the exact same homebrew world that we will be playing this evening. That setting, at least for this game, is the Wildlands, a land known only as Esteraria. Hey, shout out Hack Attack 642 for the subscription. Don't forget, you can subscribe to my channel now with a Prime like Hack Attack over here. Your free subscription every month that will get you not only welcomed into this community, but one of our many subscription badges. Check them out, like on Hack Attack here, who's got a cool ass pirate hat, or myself, who's got a wizard's
charging
cap.
battery.
But you got to earn those. However, we are starting Esteraria, the Wildlands, a verdant landscape of endless forests and plains as far as the eye can see. Our heroes just left one of these endless landscapes, Brenfield, a town on the edge of the frontier in the kingdom of Estalosia. The massive unified nation here on the continent it is named after. Our heroes have saved Brenfield from a treacherous fate. Multiple times. First at the hands of a werewolf, a loup-garou to be exact. Then saved from the fates of a evil businessman who was torturing the town in his own perverse way, using money and food to his advantage. You have not only unveiled his plot and slain the werewolf, you have also stopped the assaulting goblin tribes from laying waste to the people of Brenfield, instead unifying them toward their singular goal, escaping the midst of none other than the Order of Avarix, a evil and dictatorial mercenary group who uses power and might to oppress the races of this land, as well as the people of Brenfield. However, using the forewarning of the goblins, you have united both people of Brenfield and the goblinoids to head south under your instruction, while you dealt with outstanding problems you had previously signed on for. The vampire known as Alandir, who a certain werewolf was in the region searching for, as well as his soon-to-be sired vampire spawn, Redding Wilkins, the businessman in town who was in turn crippling Brenfield. Your party was able to defeat Redding Wilkins in his confrontation of you all with the assistance of Alandir. Not only did you fend off the powerful spellcaster and sorcerer that was Redding Wilkins, you also defeated Alandir for the time being, as he retreated into a formless mist, which vanished in the night. You all returned to Brenfield whilst they were on the road to the city of Valomeer, the nearest city in the kingdom, which would give them housing, you hope, as Cruz sent word ahead on the wings of a pseudo-dragon. He spoke to a representative for the city, the chief lieutenant within its walls, someone who gave warning as well as hope to you all. As you've traveled the last few days, the town of Brenfield is doing well, and you all are but a day out from the city. With it in view, you can see the massive walls of the town of Valomeer. The city, as it has recently expanded in the last few decades, to build new walls on its northern end, encircling this city upon a hill. Crafted once just off the road running west to the frontier lands, Valomeer has grown and grown over the recent decades, growing from at one point a simple singular walled city. This central wall still stands atop a hill. Now the city has expanded outside it, and a southern district was first built, running to the side of the lake, Lake Valis, as it is known, on its southern end. The city has expanded out from the central wall and southward, since encompassing that with an even larger wall. Ever since the war, however, that being the War of Scales, which waged but 50 years ago, the city has expanded more, building a section of walled-in city to the north and along a isle, which is across a river, forming now a moat around the city of Valomeer. A city, a haven upon a lake, as it is known. Now a bustling city with red clay tile roofs, which reflect the sunlight in the middle of the day, as you crest a hill, putting the city now in view with the columns of smokes which come out of the chimneys bustling throughout the city. You all can see it within limits now of your vision. And as you approach, talk amongst your caravan is bustling and excited as people are eager to get within the walls of a city, safe from your pursuing enemies. In this last day of travel, a pillar of smoke has appeared on the horizon to the north. A thin one, nonetheless, ominous, as it marks possibly the burning of Brenfield.
Yeah, would I be able to tell just generally by how far we've traveled?
Make a survival check.
Could I assist Guy in this if it looks obvious that you're trying to piece this together?
I would ask Grovekeeper,
Yeah.
I think. Since
Could I guide Guy in this?
Sure.
Oh God, no.
If not, I could have.
Don't mess it up.
It's gonna be a 24.
Yeah, as you awaken in your caravan's camp, this last morning of travel, you guys will arrive at Valomeer probably in the evening, after sundown, unless you make good time. But as you awaken in the morning and stare off to the north over the hills, you kind of judge with Hogs and Grovekeeper, the three of you just kind of somberly looking over to the north. It's about one Brenfield's distance away, you would judge this fire.
Yeah. Yes, I think you're right.
It's about how Grovekeeper would describe it too.
Hey, thank you, Zacatellis, for the Prime subscription.
I think we need to make haste today. Try and push the caravan as fast as we can. See if we can get to the wall by sundown.
Yeah.
Well, now, I mean, they could even send, like, a scout to see that we were telling the truth if they really are burning the town down.
We can always send...
Cruz has given you word that they are sending scouts. Scouts are one of the first thing that this guy that you've spoken to, if you haven't written the name, I recommend do so. Eldon Dalavier of Valomeer.
Eldon?
I just realized that rhymed, and I regret it.
I got Derek's name, don't you worry.
Eldon
Dalavier. Technically, it's
We're gonna check in on
Dalavier.
Derek every time we come back. We gotta help him learn his culture to put those maps.
But yeah, I assume, Cruz, you've informed them on all the information, as well as Dalen and the chiefs, or what kind of information have you given your people?
Yes. No, I told the party here.
Gotcha.
The entire conversation. I went and told the chiefs and the leadership of the thing that we will we have a place to set up camp when we arrive at Valomeer. They are where we are coming. They have agreed to meet us upon arrival to discuss further.
Okay. You are, of course, all also informed. This is also for Rhinoscore, who wasn't here last week. You also were informed, talked to for a moment by Dalen about the situation with the city. The kingdom is on this. So every kingdom is deemed a king by the Church of Estra. Each city has a king. It is a official title of king given to by a religious figure. Estra, for those of you who don't know, has a living avatar in this world. Every generation, a new Estran avatar is reborn, and she lives in Estra's Quay. There's a church in Estra's Quay where very, devout people can actually go see the prophet. Estra is always a woman, thus far, at least. And every time she is reborn, originally, she was a dwarf. It was a dwarven woman who was reborn, and dwarves, of course, have very long lives. So the first rebirth of Estra took a while before she was reborn anew. This time, however, she was a she was a human, and then a halfling, which each time reincarnated really expanded the unity that the belief in Estra brought, eventually forming a very wholesome nation between dwarves, elves, humans, halflings alike. Estra, when a new king is needed, when a line ends and a new king is needed, will deem a new line. So the Valis line was deemed originally by Estra, has held it for years. The most recent king, King Obram Valis, is dead. He died less than a year ago. His son is in rule. His wife is still alive, Amira Valis, but she is a recluse. She's not a very public queen, has not been for some time, and the current king is King Niles Valis, a young lad, just taking over for his father, recently come of age about 2 years ago. The Emerald Order is what really holds rule in Valomeer. They are a order of rich aristocrats. Cats. They're all cats.
The Aristocat.
They're a
They're
bunch
all
of rich
werecats
aristocrats.
canon.
Some have, powerful family ties. Some have just wealth in the city, and they're known as the Emerald Order. They represent each section of Valomeer in a different way. And they actually do have some of the most political power. Over the next day, on top of that, he introduced you this to the other day, and you guys every evening have been going over with Dalen kind of political studies, basically. You guys have had like one evening that, like the last few evenings have been like, Dalen going, okay, well, I'm gonna really have to get you guys up to speed on how things work in Valomeer, and I'm just myself refreshed how things work in Valomeer. This has not been my specialty, and the mayor used to handle this kind of responsibility. So you're all learning with me. And he explains the Emerald Order does technically have the most power in Valomeer. What the king says can be vetoed by them. There are 8 members of the Emerald Order, and each one has a vote on every matter that goes forth on the city, as well as the king. The king is a tiebreaker to the Emerald Order. The king does not rule on everything. The Emerald Order will rule on everything. Important matters, every matter does go through the king, though, and the king can veto anything. However, 5 votes from the Emerald Order vetoes the king. So if the king says, let's go wage war on Catalima to the south, the Emerald Order can say, no, that will get us killed by the rest of Estalosia. And as long as 5 people vote, yeah, hey, no, fuck war, that's the end of that. However, if 4 councilmen and the king, council people and the king, vote, let's go to war, well, Valomeer's going to war. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty simple stuff. The king does not have overruling reign. He does also explain the king has advisors in his own right. The advisors do have a level of political sway themselves, especially, he says, to a new king. And he will also tell you each of the political advisors. There is sorry. Sorry, I'm gonna have to mute you, Brian Esker. I'm getting microwave noises. Where is it? Yeah, he'll also tell you the 3 advisors. He's got a financial advisor, a arcane advisor, and a spiritual advisor. Let me make a roll on my end. He goes, well, the young king has Finn Goldfrond, a long time associate with the kingdom. There's Gunther Shamov, who has been serving since before the last king, and well, the last one is Ivan Stoyanova. I'm not too familiar with this guy. I've just caught word of him from the last mayor's notes. I'm not familiar with the guy. Those are the individuals that have the most say right now over, well, our young King Nile.
Did Riverhill have a bunch of notes about all these guys?
Not.
You said?
He has some notes on Finnan, little half-elven woman. Or sorry, a little halfling woman who apparently has lived in this area for generations.
What are those kinds of notes?
What do you mean?
What are his notes on her?
Not much. He does not deal with the advisors of the kings too much. It mostly remarks sort of gifts to give them, sort of things they're into. Finnan here is a real natural type. Sort of, she's a bit of a hermit, apparently. Likes a lot of things from the land around. I'm gonna be honest. Is mostly notes on interests and things they like. Sort of weird notes.
I guess it's still like important notes for politics, right?
I suppose. Yeah, I guess like bribes. Do you think maybe used for bribes? Oh, yeah, that makes sense. This Gunther fella, he seems to be some sort of wizard. That's what the notes remark. A long-time spellcaster, likes a lot of shiny, gem-encrusted things. He's just a musical fella too, likes gifts of instruments, apparently. He's from like a far away land. I don't have any notes on where. The Ivan guy, he's a recent immigrant to the region. Not really. I have no notes on this Ivan fella. A recent financial advisor taken on by the young king.
Taken on by the young king specifically, not his father?
I don't believe so. I think I'd have notes here if it was from King Obram's rule.
Interesting. Thanks for your help.
Why do you say
Any
it's
information?
interesting?
Well, everyone else is hand-me-down, right?
Yeah.
This guy could tell us something about the new king, right?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, he probably knows him the best.
He's
Usually,
someone that he picked.
yeah, usually when a king comes in, they'll pick a whole new advisor cabinet for them. But I assume the young king just trusts his father's pick. He doesn't have much experience, of course.
Was there one that was taken out to put this guy in?
Let me see my
That
notes.
was a part of the old king's advisory?
Yeah, he looks over his notes here. He's flipping through, obviously not his notes. He's flipping through someone else.
Yeah.
And as he's looking for any previous markings,
I'll guide him.
No, he doesn't need a guidance. He goes, yeah, there's a mark of a Timothy Fran.
Who's no longer a part of them?
Apparently not. I don't know what that means, but let me see what it's got here on his notes. Yeah, it just says here. Okay. This Timothy character seems has a fixin' for coin, according to the notes. There's actually quite a few notes on this Timothy character. No, I see here that the Fran, Lord of the Fran estate, was recently passed. Within the last year, apparently.
Does it line up with the king's death? The old king's death?
I don't really know. When did the last king die? He's gonna make a sorry, I'm not really versed on public affairs. Maybe like a few weeks later or after, I suppose. I do remember news of the king coming way before this. He started just about a year ago the king passed. This was less than that.
Okay.
Is there something you're thinking about?
What's the new guy's name again?
The new king? Or the new...
No.
Niles?
Advisor.
Ivan Stamoyov. Or sorry, I might have
Stamoyov.
No, I totally missed that. I got two names confused. Stayanova.
Stayanova.
S-T-A... I can just put it out for you.
That would be nice.
Evan Stayanova.
Ivan Stayanova.
Question.
Yes.
Because of the political interests of my people and the connection they would have to Valomeer, would I know anything about political people, like people of high esteem?
I mean, your people's history with oh, I put that in the wrong chat. Ignore that. I didn't mean to actually even post that. Sorry. Your people's knowledge, so your people's like history was your people have like no history with the actual like inner workings of what you do know is you've actually heard tales of your people fighting alongside King Obram.
Okay.
King Obram fought in basically your people's tale of King Obram is he fought in the wars alongside your people in the War of Scales back in the day, as well as his brother, and both were valiant heroes and like actually fought alongside, like when fought alongside your tribe. I mean, like there are tales of warriors who are like, I saw their king fight in battle, he is a mighty fighter, some of the best ever seen. But when push came to shove after, the king was seen as abandoning them, as he did not fight for their, rights to their land and whatnot after the war. So there's also like a look of like the old king abandoned them. There's no word on the new king. You guys actually probably don't even have word that a new king was instilled, unless there are like spies in the kingdom, which you don't know if there would be, but you're like, now you're really thinking maybe,
I wouldn't be surprised if there were.
Yeah, exactly.
There was one in Brentfield. We caught them. But they're also, like moving down from the north, so.
No, spies of my people.
Mm-hmm.
Inside the political structure here. There's some stuff that I should probably tell you guys later on.
Probably not the political structure, but you're like keeping tabs on the political structure. You know what I mean? Like someone within the town somewhere keeping tabs on the political structure, at least. Yeah. So, oh boy, that's not good. There we go. So that is what you guys are talking about as approaching your last day. That's kind of like your powwow as you guys get in view of Valomeer. As you do, what else are you guys going to do, and what are you doing on your last day? I will, Ryan, when we get to you, we'll do your previous days of crafting, all in one. But on your last day, what do you want to get out of the way, Grovekeeper, first off? You're like approaching the road to Valorant. There are farms along the road the entire way you guys are walking.
I was just gonna say that with the piece of armor that we were working on, I was just gonna try to get that done
Yeah,
ideally.
that would be the evening before. Yeah, you have
But
one more
just on the
evening and
road
then the road.
traveling.
Yes, so like to wrap up your journey, what does the
Okay.
last leg of your journey look like, including the night before? Like this evening, you guys have that sit down and powwow with at to like basically at when you guys break for food. Valomeer is in sight at the top of the hill. You sit
Okay.
down with Dalen. He gives you the rundown on the political structure, as well as the chiefs. You guys talk about what you guys, what you talked to with Eldon, and you guys have the full powwow. Now, after that, you have the evening, and then tomorrow's journey. What is Grovekeeper doing for that?
Can I keep track of like what farms are either going to be growing stuff or things that are like about to harvest, kind of keeping in mind areas I could go back to help the people that are growing plants later?
Sure.
Since I'm planning to eventually do the whole 8-hour plant growth, and I'm trying to keep track of areas that are still growing plants and not areas that are about to harvest.
So what I will say, it is so what I will say is, it's the beginning of summer. Everybody's growing plants right now.
Okay, so they're all fine.
Yeah, it is peak growing time. And all the farms are growing in full.
Well, I don't have much because I'm not gonna go looking for herbs while we're in people's farmlands and stuff like that. I'm not gonna encroach on them, so I'll kind of just be around to help people, I'll say.
Okay. Definitely. That's through the evening and just through the day you're helper boy. Understood.
Yeah, I don't want to steal from these people.
Okay. That's understandable. Guy, what is Guy doing for the last leg?
Make gun.
Make gun.
Yep.
Let's do it.
I was waiting for it.
All right.
With your advantage.
There is.
D4.
I will be nice on the last day of travel. There is one thing, my man, you are missing from this equation.
Mm-hmm.
And it is. I cannot give you too much information as what it is, as it is your duty to seek it out.
Yeah.
But no, there's something out there that could make this even more possible. Because you're right, it is a kind of a pipe dream. You need an act of God right now to like incite you into these this eureka. But there is, I just want to inform you, there is something out there that you're missing. Piece of this puzzle. Mechanically.
Well then, do somebody else while I think about it.
You got it.
Okay.
Rhinosker. What is Rhinosker doing for these legs? So 5 days of travel, basically. Potions. What is the potion goal? I will say it's pretty unlikely for like a potion of speed. That's super advanced. Well, I mean, you would need rare herbs, which I don't even think I have them priced on the pricing chart on my server. I've recently posted. You can find it in Loot and Lore. If you go under herbs, you'll see. If you go under potion and herbs under the good, you'll see herbs. Herbs rare. So rare herbs are 50 golds a pound. The like very rare herbs, which you would need to make this potion, are like 500 gold an hour. Which this means you can find them naturally as well, but you need to hit a very hard DC in a rare place. So means you need to be like in a mushroom garden found underground or something that's like magically growing. You need to be like, I want to find herbs here, and then roll really high, and you have a chance of finding very, very rare herbs. But normally when you find herbs, you're just finding common herbs, unless you roll 25 or higher, then you're getting uncommon herbs in a normal place.
Can I search for herbs?
Yes, but you're just in a normal place. In fact, you're actually in a
farmland.
Well, not yet. In the beginning of your journey, you can search for herbs. You're still only in like common land. So go ahead and roll to search for herbs.
Survival?
Or it's an herbalism. Yeah, it's a wisdom check with your herbalism tools proficiency.
Wisdom with my herb.
Yeah.
So like if you're proficient with your herbalism kit,
so it'd be
wisdom,
+6. No matter, it would be a survival check anyway.
Yeah, it'd be a survival check. 100%. Yes.
Yeah, it's like the equivalent. Yeah.
Just different proficiency.
As
Unless you
who
have
also,
expertise in
herbalism or survival. Yeah.
Could I
Does
use my
someone
sense of
expose, yeah.
smell to get advantage to find herbs?
Smell these plants.
That
kind of
seems
plants
like a
you
little
looking
bit of a
for?
stretch. What I will say is
That
if
rare herb, you know what I'm saying?
not in this sense, that would work if you were like trying to find a specific herb you already had. I like that idea, but that would only work if like you had like
to go off.
like you had uncommon herbs and you were like, okay, but I think you only have common herbs.
Yeah, we only have common.
Hey, hold up. I said this 2 seconds ago. Your boy has one uncommon herb with 4 charges.
So if you want to do that, yes.
Then yes.
Grovekeeper has one in his pouch that he got while you were away.
100%.
So.
Grovekeeper pulls out the uncommon herbs, and it's
Hey,
it's the
Grovekeeper,
same
help
as
me
him
out.
helping you.
I'm about to try to find some more of these. Need a good smell.
Try to smell some shit.
Yeah, I think I got it.
It's just all up in him.
It's like somewhat
That's a
weird, but
20.
also very normal for Grovekeeper,
like when a
who's
cat-
like used to going to like wolves and being like, "Here, smell this and find it."
Ryan Esker actually starts
That's a
rolling in it
22.
like catnip. Just
I think I got the smell now. I think I got the smell.
I think I got it. Thank you.
what was
He
it?
hands back your herbs and they're like all wet.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that, Grovekeeper. I appreciate it. It's a 22 to find
22.
That first smell was a 5, so it was just so I had to be like,
I think we
smell it
might
out.
be down that uncommon herb now. But
Inhale
At least one use of it, you know.
straight up
Got
the
3 or 4
Red
now.
Esker.
You I just love now the idea that like Ryan Esker is very aggressive and somebody just like, hey, uncommon herbs, throws it on the ground and he's like just starts playing in it.
laser pointers haven't been invented yet, so
But
we need something else.
It's official that catnip is included in uncommon herbs. Just something in there. There's just a little bit of catnip. Yes, Ryan Esker, you are able to find uncommon herbs. Just one charge of them. Oh, well, actually, sorry, you're doing this. So the idea is you're going to spend one of your whole days doing this, correct?
Yes.
I will say you can get 3 charges of uncommon herb. Or 3 packs. Or actually, no, sorry. For a 20, you can get 1 pack of uncommon herbs and 2 common.
Okay.
For a 25, it's just uncommon herb city. What you're not able to do is get rare.
Can I do this? I want to do this 3 days in a row. Finding herbs.
Yeah, roll again then.
My headcanon is just for those 3 days as Grovekeeper and everyone's doing stuff, Rhinesker just pops up from time to time going like, give me another hit. I need another sniff.
I need another bump.
I need to find that. I swear
Just one more and
I
I'm
think
good.
I found it,
Better refresh.
but I was one smell off.
The third day he comes back. Look, this is the last time I'm gonna ask. I swear.
cut to the day where Cruz the rock shoots
Grovekeeper sitting
everywhere.
there being like, I swear this is not addictive or anything. Like,
Sorry, what was the second roll?
I got a 13 and then a 16.
That's with advantage?
Yeah.
Uh,
I rolled a 7 and a 5, and then I rolled a 10 and a 7.
okay, so that was 2 rolls with advantage.
Yeah.
Okay, so over the course of the next few days, you are able to acquire, I will say, 2 uncommon, or so you're doing this with 3 days. 2 packs of uncommon herbs, and 4 common herbs.
Yeah, just come back to Grovekeeper after the third day and go, hey, I think I found some stuff. Here you go.
It's just his pockets are like overflowing with like grass and stuff. Just like vines just all hanging out.
I got you something.
He also looks like he was rolling in dirt.
looks really good.
Yeah. Don't question the scratch marks in it. It's okay.
He's like sitting having flashbacks to Velkar being like, should I scratch him behind the ears?
Don't question that. It's a good idea. But if you could set some of those for, some alchemy, I can make some more potions up. Yeah.
I did that on our last day.
So you still have 2 more days. That's actually really perfect because on that third day, it is starting to get hard to find like herbs because you're getting into more and more like worked lived lands, and so people have foraging nearby, and there's farms and things like that. So you can find actually like some useful items on the edge of like less traveled like fence posts where some like useful moss can grow, but that's it. You start to run out of find like usable resources.
Yeah, my third and fourth day, or no, not my third, my fourth and fifth day will be about concealment with my training for the werewolves.
What concealing what specifically?
Your person, the little ticks that you get.
Gotcha. Noel Van News goes, well, I'm actually quite good at putting on faces. I put on a lot of faces from time to time. You're all bad, it will all burn, and you will all die. Okay, that came out. Normally that doesn't happen. I'll work on it.
Learn to talk in a whisper.
I will do so.
So that's teaching him talk in a whisper. And then, did we cure the other guy or no?
Burdane is cured. You haven't cured.
Conrad.
Bear.
So, how many uncommon herbs did you hand me?
2.
Just 2. Okay, so I have
2
3.
uncommon, 4 common.
Got it. Okay. I was like, wait, did you say? I was like, no, you just said you handed me stuff.
Yeah, I just handed it to you. It's like,
okay,
hey,
got it now.
Here, this is all yours. I just got this for you.
Well, then last 2 days are spent on concealment. It's Burdane. Like, the only problem with Burdane is he still shows up to all the meetings. He goes, I'm gonna be honest, I think I have everything under control now.
I never really have those senses of being hard-headed. I've really kind of loosened up in my personality. I really think I've become a better person since all this.
As he says this, you can see he's got like pieces of wood in his hair, just like sticking out. He's recently been hitting stuff with his head. You can tell.
How's your forehead?
I never been better. How's yours? Weird question.
Mine's fine. I was just wondering because you got sticks in your hair.
I was oh, well, you too have sticks in your hair. Were you recently rolling around in something?
He pulls one out and he goes, "This is a bone."
Oh,
No, he like pulls a little bit of uncommon herbs from your hair. I was talking about this.
Oh, that's actually weed.
It's called God's beard in my setting.
That's God's beard. That actually has to go back in my hair.
He goes, "Oh, I didn't know you partied. Okay."
And he walks away.
Because I only take those out of my dreads when I need to.
He goes off. Conrad, however, is go ahead and roll an insight check for me, Rhinosker.
I'm good at those.
It's a common mistake, if you ask me. Every time I say
25.
I'm good at those, I roll shit. Unless, yeah. So 25. Yeah, you can tell. Conrad is on edge recently. He's just he's been spending a lot of time on like the edge of forests and like in the trees, like as like you guys would set up camp. He'd just been spending a lot of alone time, except for like hogs, and occasionally spending a lot of time around the group that the only ones besides hogs that he's really frequenting is some of the elderly and Noel. Mainly because Noel is also tending to some of the elderly in his free time as well as his family. Conrad is doing the same, but he will leave from time to time and specifically spend it like in the woods by himself. Maybe with Hogs, who also does very much the same thing.
Can I?
Hogs, you're getting along better with Conrad in the last few days, as he now too wants to spend long periods of time in the woods.
Question.
Yes.
Because of family members, does that type of personality coincide with their traits?
Yeah, they're reclusive and protective. That is their main two. It's like honestly not the worst two traits to have. But like you would honestly know the thing you want to look out for is if somebody hurts one of these people he cares about.
Got it.
If he sees somebody hurt Hogs, he's going to probably change. If he sees somebody hurt the elderly, he is probably going to change.
Yeah, so that would be more what I focus on with him. And then Noel is just the random outbursts of
You heard Rhinosker is just randomly punching the elderly to just
I was gonna say, so I punch Hogs.
He's beating the shit out of the hog, probably. Yeah.
He's just like, okay, does this bother you? He's like, hold it in.
What the fuck?
How does it make you feel on the inside?
No, but it is probably something I would do in private.
Mm-hmm.
I'd actually ask Hogs to help me with that.
By getting his shit rocked.
Hey, Hogs.
What's up?
Your friend has traits that he needs to control, and I think I could use your help.
He needs to learn to
Conrad?
bear.
What do you mean?
Get it?
I
What
think
the
I
hell
could
was
use
that
your,
ominous voice?
I'll see myself out.
I think I could use your help with helping him control the urge
The urge to what?
to change.
Barty.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, sure. What's up? What do you want me to do?
Just come with me. it's going to be easier to show than tell.
Okay.
And I,
Then ask her.
and I asked Conrad to come with us into the forest.
You walk into a
I'll-
clearing
I'll
filled
sidle
with a
up
bunch
next
of
to Conrad on
torture
the way.
implements.
What is up with him? Does he seem weird? To
I
Conrad.
always seem weird to everyone.
He's like really vague about what we're doing in here. I'm working on a chess piece back there for a Grovekeeper. He's actually kind of pulling me away from something. I don't know. Whatever.
And I, as we walk deeper, when I know nobody else is there, I'll say, Conrad, how often do you have to deal with protecting people you love and care about?
I mean, that's a weird question. I suppose not often. I don't really have many people left in this town. They're kind of past now, you know?
Yeah, but I know you have a few. I've watched you over the last few weeks.
I mean, I help out, yeah.
He stops and goes, there's certain things you need to admit to yourself.
I'm sorry, friend. You're talking a whole bunch of nonsense I'm not really picking up on.
What I'm saying is, until you acknowledge that there's people you care about, you're not going to be able to control the urge to protect them.
Oh, I mean, I definitely care about people. Yeah, I care about the town. I want to see everybody get to Valomeer safe and sound, and I wouldn't wish ill upon a soul. Nah. Is that what you're talking about?
And that's not what I mean. What I mean is, say Hogs, right?
Yeah,
Hogs is your best friend and closest thing you have to a brother in the world, right?
100%, yeah.
If you would see me outwardly try to attack Hogs, do you think you can control yourself?
What do you, I mean, why would, I mean, I've attacked hogs before. I mean, you know, he can be a bit of a little, is he, right, is he, are you in the clearing as he's saying this? He can be a little, well, a piece of shit, as the expression goes. But
I mean actual harm.
I mean,
let's say
I would not let that happen. No.
Exactly. You wouldn't want it to happen.
No.
You wouldn't let it happen.
I would step in.
Exactly. But could you step in without changing?
I mean, you're a mighty fine fighter.
I don't mean just me. I know I am a good fighter, but I mean regular people. People like thugs, bandits, thieves.
What if like Derek attacked me, Conrad?
Who's Derek?
You know, the cartographer guy who knows nothing about any culture.
Well, I would kick his ass. I would stomp his teeth in quicker than you can say whatever one of those far off lands he's always talking about is called. Kathar consort or whatever.
But that's what I mean, Conrad. I know that you want to be able to control this, but you're not going to be able to if you can't control the change when you get angry enough to stomp someone's teeth in.
Well, I mean, is it? I wouldn't kill anyone.
You just said you'd stomp his teeth in.
Yeah, like a friendly teeth stomping, you know, till he learned his lesson.
I don't think there's a friendly teeth stomp.
Well, I mean,
he can't talk anymore,
and so he will learn not
or
to
eat
say
solids.
There are less solid foods someone could eat, like some sort of mashed rum spud, or whatever, a potato.
Red Oscar laughs.
I feel like that's a bit far.
What I mean is control over that. Even in that mid-combat phase, have you ever felt that rage that you want to just keep fighting?
I would do anything. I'd rather sit alone in a room with a like a dark cave. Why would I want a cave? No, like a room with like a good book.
I bet the dark caves are actually pretty nice.
A dark cave does sound kind of nice right now. Is that weird? Why is?
Just if you know
It's your
how
nature.
deep it is, makes sense. Protect
Right. A bear. I turned into a bear. Bears like caves. I see where that's coming. That's weird. It's weird.
It's just who you are now.
That's
Your most
weird.
primal nature. He just
I
looks
know
at
the cave.
your most primal nature is coming out. I like sleeping in trees.
I saw you rolling around in the. Never mind.
He just stops and looks away. I don't know what you're talking about. That didn't happen.
For your sake, I'll also say that didn't happen. Sure.
Yes, Hogs, it didn't happen.
Yeah, especially when you talk about.
Well,
It didn't happen, Hogs.
Anyway,
I know. I'm sorry. It didn't happen.
Anyway, well, this is the thing, though. What if? Okay, so you put me in a bit of a question and predicament here, Ryan. Is if you are attacking hogs here, I would want to transform to fight you, though, as you would kick my ass two ways from Wellendale. I'm trying to remember my fucking weekdays here for a second. Wellendale, yes.
And he looks at you and goes, yes, I would, but understand this.
But Derek wouldn't. That's why I brought Derek up.
You're right, Hogs. But here's what I'm saying. Without you being able to train in that type of environment, without you trying to stop yourself from changing in the moment, you won't be able to stop yourself when it actually matters.
I think what
Right.
Red
No,
Asker
you're
is
right.
saying here is that it should be your choice, not an impulse.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That,
Be able to
Like, for me, it's not a...
whether or not it's necessary.
how do we do
He
that?
goes, you have to learn when the changes happen. For example, and he just jumps into a tree, and as he jumps, he changes. He goes, I wanted to change as I jumped. And he jumps down and turns right back into his normal form. See? I wanted this.
So you can teach me how to control when I want to change. That's good. I don't want to rip someone in two. I would like to, well, unless they're gonna rip one of my friends in two. Is it appropriate to rip someone in two if they're gonna rip you in two?
I think in self-defense you should still pacify and then send to like jail or whatever.
Death isn't always the option.
Right.
That is.
So we're gonna need to work on quite a bit of control with this.
I think
form.
To be honest,
depends on like the power level.
To be honest with you, I'm not the best person to teach you. There are people that I would like you all to meet to learn how to do this properly. People like my priestess. She could teach you way better than I could. I would like you to meet more of my people.
Well,
You would also be able to learn about your nature in general. I'm not the best to teach a bear.
Conrad just like walks up to you and puts a hand on your shoulder, and he goes up on your shoulder. He goes, "Well, Rhinosker, great news,
Halfling Conrad.
Great news, because I recently lost my home and have nowhere to live. So wherever you want to take me."
Well, this is also... He kind of looks at Hogs. It would be a safe place for him as well, and you could always go there as well. I know that you're a family, essentially. You two are all each other have left. Am I correct?
Kind of, I guess.
Well, you gotta have to look over your
cool.
pops then if I'm gone.
You can bring your pops as well. Your
That
brother.
sounds better.
Oh,
I don't think that there would be an issue with having your family there. Understand, though, your father would be in a different place. I don't mean like he's going to be separated from everyone else. I mean just society where I live is different.
He's been pretty open-minded in his lifespan, I'd like to think.
Conrad just laughs.
I punch him in the shoulder.
You get introduced to his halfling father, Hogs being a goblin. He was married to a tribeswoman, a goblin tribeswoman.
Got it.
You're soon enlightened to the joke.
Have you ever heard of my goblin? I don't speak it very well.
I don't think I've actually heard you speak Goblin ever.
Well, do you understand goblin?
A lot of characters, a lot of languages to remember. I get it.
I don't. I know more Elven than Goblin.
Well, if I were to speak Gobbish, around the tribe, they'd all probably laugh at me.
Got it.
Well,
I could get. They would understand what I'm trying to convey, but I would look like a fool doing it.
You do also, if you don't particularly remember, Hogs's father is very old. Like, does not remember Hogs is not around old. So Conrad takes care of him.
Well, it's an offer for both of you.
Yeah.
When this is over, when all of this is over, I will take the whole group to my home.
I think
we could also. There'd be a lot of people that'll be able to teach us how to protect ourselves against vampires as well. Because that is the thing, that vampire is going to come after us.
Noel comes out of the nearby woods, listening in on this conversation.
I just point at him and goes, "That's creepy. Don't do that."
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that he did that. I'm unsettled.
He goes, sorry, I was rather suspicious when you took one of the werewolves or werefolk into the woods for like a private tutoring. I wanted to make sure everything was above board, and you weren't.
I've not done anything to hurt any of you, so why would you think I was going to do it now? Especially when a person that I brought is part of the party.
It was mostly that I wasn't being kept from something.
No, not at all. I was teaching. I just wanted to teach him.
I overheard the conversation. I would like to step in. What causes my changes?
That's a difficult conversation. Your kind is almost never seen. And when they are seen, they're very reclusive. Your kind is almost never... When was the last time a crow was born?
Raven.
Roll a
different than a crow.
History.
I would call him a crow. A history check?
Yeah, roll a history check.
They're similar but different. They're cousins.
They're similar. That's an 18.
One came around almost 100 years ago, prior to the start of
the war.
It spewed on about a great artifact, a heart of stone that would end not only the war but much more. When the Raven came about, the war wasn't even started. So it was talking about a war that had yet to come. And it was already talking about an end that was going to doom them.
Do I know how that crow ended?
You do not.
Or is it still around?
You've never met a crow. You do not know where it is, but you have heard, and I will say with an 18, you definitely know who to talk to on this.
to be honest with you, the last time a crow was even thought about was almost 100 years ago, before the war, and it spouted doomsday nonsense to them, which now we know was
Before-
the war.
The War of
But-
Scales?
Yeah. It predicted the War
Oh.
of Scales and the end to the War of Scales. And something about a stone heart. I don't really know what that was about. But it was an artifact or something.
I would like
Can I?
no, I would like
Oh.
Grovekeeper to make a history check.
Oh, I'm present for this? Okay.
Oh wait, no, you're not. That is true.
That was my. I didn't think I was.
Fuck.
Yeah, but
mean, you could have came with
sitting here
no.
going. I was sitting here going. It'd be cool to be there.
I mean, you could have came with no. I'm pretty
if I-
sure Noel would have told you. He's like, Ryan Asker just brought people to the woods
I don't know, they're
randomly.
pretty reclusive, aren't they?
So I cannot make a history check? Sounds good.
You can make a history check if you want.
Let's go.
I would tell no. There's only one person I know that would know the information you're looking for.
You
Holy
fucker
shit!
hogs. Ah, you bastard.
Is it now?
I'm such a
It was a
bookworm.
nat 20.
It's about the War of Scales. This
Yep.
is,
No, I
is
mean
this
it works.
something that sounds like Hogs would have.
Hogs, you do know, you hear of your father talked about a great artifact that was supposed to end the War of Scales. And you only know about it because your father used to talk about it as like a good thing that didn't happen, because instead
That would have wiped our asses on the ground.
no, it was literally because instead that artifact was just stolen from Estalosia. It was a rumor that spread across, and eventually a second rumor met that said, no, the artifact didn't show up because it was stolen, which people also say that's a lie. There was never actually an artifact. That's a lie. You know, there's like this, like, oh, the government said there's this great weapon to scare the people, and it didn't show up because that's what Estalosia just wanted to tell people so they weren't scared we were gonna die. But your dad talked about it as like a
He believed in the rumor.
well, yeah, he was one of the like he definitely was a bit of a crazy conspiracy theorist. But he's also like, well, I suppose I'm glad it never did come, because I wouldn't have met your mother if the tribes never got united. Which is what happened instead, was the tribes were united to fight the Dragon Lord.
Interesting.
Yeah, I just dropped that. But
Okay.
the news, the only way I can help you, to be honest, is by bringing you to someone who can teach you. I'm technically not even supposed to be out of the village yet. I'm well protected from the
We
village.
have a runaway. Get him.
So if you came back with us, would you be in trouble?
I'm going to be in trouble no matter what.
Do you think they'd let you come back out to keep doing what we're doing?
Baby. I don't know. The people that would be in charge of that don't like the fact that I broke the rules. They wouldn't like it. I'm not, it doesn't matter. If I can, I can. But I don't think I will be able to after we go back. I'll be in a lot of trouble in the first place. But maybe telling them that I helped defeat a vampire and brought back a new pack of werewolves might help. And even a new crow.
Van Nuys already had a finger up. He was going to correct you. I do think it is a raven, technically.
I don't know.
Fucking
To
boom.
be honest with you,
I
you
haven't
are
seen it either.
true. I have not seen myself. Woo, affection. Check.
He's
Grovekeeper
absolutely
just
seen
said
a raven.
Grovekeeper just said raven. And he's, I mean, he has a raven, so I'm just gonna take his word for it.
Well, a raven. Either way, the offer stands for you two. If you would like to come back to the village when we're done with all this and learn, you're more than welcome. But I also know that you have a family that is more important for you.
Well, you said families are welcome. Would they be safe?
Safe. That's not a question.
They don't have to be werewolves to be in your pack.
No.
Anything?
Not everybody in our homes are werewolves.
Well,
Some of us are second generation. Others are just people that came through, live with us for a while, and leave. There are many.
That's good to know. Okay. Well, in that case, I'll just bring my family. I think this is more important than, unfortunately, Brenfield.
Your family also would have to know about your condition.
My daughter, is
Imagine he's woken his wife up in the night.
a little young, and for that reason is open to new ideas. If she is growing up around werewolves and
there's more than just wolves.
the children,
there's all of us.
Yes, she'll, I'm soon adapt to that being the norm.
And don't worry, we learn things too. It's not just like I went to full training. My priests taught me all about alchemy and the outside world.
That's different than Brenfield, as there weren't any schools there.
They teach the children everything, especially from us who are born with the gift. We have to learn how to live with the gift.
Well, that's perfect. I'm fine with that. And Hogs, we can watch your father while Conrad and I do this.
You would be more welcome in my home than anywhere else, and that's because my family will protect you.
I think that's the only thing we can do then. It seems like the best choice, and we will spend time, of course, in Valomeer or outside of it while we get situated, get the people situated. But then we will head out as soon as you seem fit. I don't see another way.
I look at Hogs. We should also talk to the group about maybe going to my home.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Do you think it'd be possible for us to send them on their own while we do other things that might be necessary?
I don't think that's a good idea.
Well, you said there was other wanderers who wandered into the...
Wanderers are different. These are werewolves and their family.
What if
They're
they
were
came
creatures.
What if they came with Dagrin or something?
If Dagrin comes back anytime soon. Dagrin has been gone from the village for years. He hunts vampires. Active.
Okay, then.
I'd have to find... Maybe if there's a representative of our village in the city.
You would... What I would say is you would know Dagrin... Dagrin has returned a few times, but he's only like back for brief moments.
Also, you have to understand this as well, Hogs. The next time Dagrin goes to the village, Dagrin will face his own trial. For causing this.
These are he was explained
he did bring that up.
Yeah, these two are literally living examples that he spread his curse.
I guess you're right.
Unless he goes back and lies, but
I wouldn't let him do that.
Yeah.
All right then. Cool.
You don't even know if Dagrin would do
I know
that.
it's out of the way, and I know that it's a problem.
Yeah, it makes sense.
If you want
I
your
agree.
family to be safe and you want your friend to learn, and I know they want to learn, we'd have to take them on our own. Plus, it's safer going through the forest with a large group.
I think you're right.
But it's something we should have talked to the group about.
You guys, I mean, what else do you do with Conrad as
Oh, I'm gonna attack the shit out of hogs.
okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna roll something on my end.
Right before you do, Hogs goes.
In the middle
Hogs
of like
goes.
travel or something. Lannister's just walking down and then just wind up long.
I'm expecting you doing it like pretty much right now, but right before you go, Hogs goes. I'm not gonna lie, my Massacre, right in the middle there. I really thought you were gonna do. Like,
That's basically what happened.
Elbow.
Like it's basically just like we finished a serious conversation and I just go straight for a haymaker.
Oh boy.
It's
just the three of you.
It's
the four of us.
You punch hogs. Okay.
Yeah.
Right in the jaw.
You watch as he like suddenly runs up and stops you because you do it like out of the blue, and he goes, "Hey, what the hell was that, Rhinesker?" And as he goes and grabs your arm, he does not turn. He just grabs he makes a grapple check on you. That's a 17.
You choose to fail.
Yeah, I'm gonna choose to fail. I wasn't gonna like sit there and fight him. They go.
Yeah, if you just like were gonna slip through and punch again, you would have to do acrobatics.
And I just I stop and I look at I'm looking at Hogs and I go, "You okay, Hogs?"
I turn up and I cast disguise self to turn around, and my face is dripping, pouring with blood. And an eye pops out, and I go,
Eye pops out.
Okay. I'm gonna make another check.
That was like
Oh
a
my
Superman
God.
punch. Hogs with a glass
Conrad
jaw.
for a second goes,
Face mangled.
he just goes, "Oh my God, Hogs!" and touches your face suddenly, and like it passes through where blood is like projected, and he goes,
completely dry.
Oh,
And then
you fucking idiot! And then he hits you.
I just no, get back for earlier! And I just like tackle Conrad.
Punching Hogs.
He's
A
gonna
line forms.
He's just gonna get tackled by you.
And I look at Conrad and go, "That feeling, the tingling feeling that you got when you saw the attack, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
That feeling is what you have to look out for every time."
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think all that stopped me from turning, I could feel it, I think it was because it was you. If it was anyone else, someone who I actually thought might be hurting Hogs here, I don't know if I could have fought it back as well. But you did good by trying to catch me off guard with it. And you fucking had me for a moment. And he points to Hogs.
Yeah, that's what you get for laughing earlier.
But I go, the only thing I want is you to ingrain that feeling into your mind.
Mm-hmm.
That feeling is what happens every time, no matter what.
I think if I can just remember how much I hate Hogs, I can fight it off.
I'll make sure to remind you every day.
It's not just Hogs.
You do, in your own
way. It's anyone you truly care about, like the elderly people you take care of.
I understand.
Like Hogs' father. People you care about.
You're not going to punch Hogs' father, are you?
Oh no, absolutely not. I'd be afraid of
Hogs' father.
I just look at him and
I look like that on the ground.
I just look at him and I go, absolutely not. I don't think he would survive. So I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Insight check.
He made his whole character just to infiltrate this town and punch an elderly man. You caught the plot. That's it, Hogs.
Yes!
Rhinoscar's secret
won.
Mission.
It's
You guys-
to kill Hogs' father!
You guys share a laugh. He does internalize that kind of feeling. He does fight off 2 chances of becoming a werebear, actually, pretty well. So he rolled well. He will internalize and learn from this moment. And you do this like another day, like a full another day of this training. Yeah,
it's a full day of him learning. I want to like the second day is more of me trying to help him force the change.
100%. Okay. Time to fight a werebear, guys.
Hogs is gonna have a nightmare.
Who do you
this
have
trip.
present for that?
Me and Grovekeeper.
Oh, what?
That's
I'm somewhere.
You've got to fight a werebear.
I'm
Me-
somewhere right now.
I asked Grovekeeper
on the
to help
second
me
day.
with this.
On the second day.
Actually, you know what?
On
I'll
the
ask the
last
whole
day of
party.
travel.
Hey,
Yeah. No, I'm
you guys-
I'm making sure.
Yeah, I'm asking the whole party.
Okay.
Like, hey, I'm gonna try to force him to change,
Okay,
and
you
for
guys-
him to control the change. Would you all like to help me with this?
Sure.
Is
I'd
that
love
going to
to
be like
your
the
best
whole
friend.
day, or
No, it's just
I mean-
like a moment.
Like
Guy
it's a
said
few
you
moments.
would-
You're spending
Entire
spending
day, we
the
just keep
day.
attacking hogs.
The idea is you're spending the day trading him, and then a moment where you're actually like, okay, we're going to induce it.
Yes.
okay?
At any point throughout the day, hogs will get attacked. He won't know when it's coming.
He won't know,
Yeah.
but he knows it's
No
coming.
one is allowed in my
Hogs-
bubble.
Hogs is like
It
whistling
is
through
just
the
me.
Hogs is one point through the day on the last travel. Rhinesker goes to each of you silently and is like, "Hey, I'm gonna need you to help me with a thing." And one time when Hogs is just whistling through a clearing, walking through the forest in the day as he does, you guys just jump him as you're walking. You guys are like walking. No, you're walking
We all
with
put on
Conrad
hoods
through
up.
the
With
forest because he
Conrad,
wants to
yeah.
be alone. And then you guys just leap out and punch Hogs.
Get out of
We all
An
have
arrow
clothes
whizzes through
on.
the air.
Yeah, we're just beating the crap
You
out of
guys-
Hogs.
Guy pulls out his guns and just lights me the fuck up.
Conrad. And as Conrad sees what's going on, you square up with him right now, and you go, use that, induce that feeling, and he is going.
As in the background, you just hear hogs going, "Please stop!"
He is going to. He is going to fail the check to. Well, actually, I'm gonna roll with disadvantage. He might instinctually pass it because he's laughing so hard.
Just all of Hog's friends just go and beat him up. He's just like, this is hilarious.
And Conrad just goes, haha, classic, and just right down on top.
Could you imagine?
No.
That'd be great.
You watch, he fails it, and then he's going to try to pass the second check to control it.
I'm looking, like, as he changes, I'm looking at him in his eyes, and I go, control!
Just grab hogs the same way I went to like rip the person's head off.
Yeah, I'm like partially in Grovekeeper's jaw.
A
As
pistol.
Guy.
No, the
as-
way that he wouldn't just like he ripped the person's like
Yeah.
head off,
Oh, God.
really trying to make him think it's gonna happen. You might dislocate your jaw.
Watch as Conrad changes form and grows, like large hulking muscles come out of his back, turning into large tree trunks of arms, as he lets out a large roar out into the night, or into the afternoon, as it echoes like birds fly out from the top of the trees, and you all watch as he fights hard against the urge to lunge at Rhinesker, standing in front of him, and he goes, I know I can do, and he goes to swing. I'm gonna roll to hit.
AC's an 18.
I'm gonna cast command on him.
Before you do,
Okay.
does a 20 hit you, Hogs?
20 hit me?
Yes. You are clocked in the jaw with a closed fist.
He's fine.
As he
He's fine.
punches you square in the face. And as you go flying back, you're gonna take 10 points of damage as you're like lifted off your feet and thrown back 5 feet onto your ass. Conrad just goes, I just focused on the hate.
What the fuck?
I just look at him and go, good.
Everyone's hitting home.
And then he drops suddenly to the ground, passed out, and he starts to deform.
I'll just wait for him to wake up.
He is
pistol whip him. No, I'm just
I'll have a plate of jerky and like a canteen of water when he wakes up, but he'll be there. I'm just sitting next to him.
he's like asleep for 3 hours.
That's fine.
I go back to make gun.
I go back to my gun.
I just look at you guys and go, hey guys, I appreciate you guys helping me beat up Hogs.
I'm not helping you anymore. Fuck you guys.
Just Hogs in a headlock.
Let go of me.
Just like Hogs is like, I'm not helping you guys. Just gets hit with a rock on the side of the head. Ow! It's done.
I told you it was a cool rock.
He's unconscious. He's not even here anymore.
Look around. Where did that even come from?
Ryan Asper just goes and picks up another rock. I have no idea.
Because they're assholes.
You do that in your last day. Of course, you beat up Hogs. Hogs, between the beatings, what are you up to?
Between the beatings.
It is simple, Crispy. I'm plotting.
That
The
tracks.
demise of everyone who is wronged me. No. Can I finish this this chess piece? I know we're close, right? Does it like
where the
some
chess
finished
beat? What
stuff?
have we done thus far? You have it written down.
I
had
don't have
put
it written
bark
there.
skin on it.
You did.
Yeah, you put bark
That's one
skin on
person.
it. I
Cruz was working on an Eldritch Blasty thing.
and he had some successes with it. And then I also
right.
etched, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And I also etched like religious symbolism into it.
Correct.
Or no, protective runes like into
Guy
it.
shot it with his gun.
Guy
no.
did nothing. Guy made gun.
Guy
Failed
made-
to make gun for 4 days.
Guy did not make gun.
Bang. It's like now it's just got a bunch of holes in it. He's like, look. You're like, you ruined it.
It's weaker. No, you see, unless their weapon is very skinny and pointy, will not make it through.
But yes,
So
I did
like
not realize.
arrows or guns.
No.
Because I was putting bark skin on it, trying to get it so that it would stay on like when I
or
transform.
rapiers,
And then
spears,
I think it was just the
Javelins?
3 of us that did stuff, right?
Yeah,
crossbow
it was
bolts,
just-
darts. A
But
lot
we
of them.
had like a couple of successes across different days.
Yes. So Hogs worked on it twice, if I remember correctly.
Cruz worked on it like 3 times.
Cruz, I think, worked on it twice as well.
Oh,
I did my
Ha-
bark skin.
You did
once.
bark skin once. Did Ryan work on it yet? No, Ryan wasn't here.
No, he wasn't here.
Of
Ryan wasn't
course. Yeah, Guy
If
did.
you are
Guy did
interested,
absolutely nothing. Like a smelly
Yeah.
smeller set.
The rest of the party minus
Um,
Guy have been working on this one really cool
I've-
chess piece that Hogs had made, and now we're all like putting enhancements on.
So what I
I've
was
been learning
saying,
how to not make a weapon.
Oh, I
No,
could do the perfect
yes.
thing. I could help you by curing some leather straps and stuff so that I could be comfortable when you seat it on your body. There's only a breastplate, right?
mm-hmm.
Yeah. So all
we took some giant centipede plates that we had from killing one, and we're making a breastplate that we laid with a bear pelt on the inside. And then I had cast bark skin across the bear pelt, and Hogs was etching stuff along the.
Okay, so what I will say, that is actually a good point. You have just reminded me of something. Hogs has had 3 days on it.
Because making it also.
Yes.
You had to craft it.
I did create the actual item.
What?
I mean, I didn't like finish it either.
Yeah, I could just
I
make
still have like one last touch I need to do.
Yeah, the one thing I can do for you is make the cures for the leathers that would go around the arm ports for like that and like the neck piece, so it all fits comfortably, and it wouldn't like chafe you or be.
And if there's any way to make it like obviously not elastic, but if there's any way to make it stretchy.
Yeah.
I mean, the cure, you could cure it and make it more malleable.
So basically what I will say is either way this this last check has to be an assembly check. Meaning ideally as many people as possible involved in it are present, helping out in some way, and it is also going to be the hardest check. So if Rhinoscore wants to help out on the final step and like do the assembly of the final step, that would make it easier, I will say.
I think only Rhinoscore and Hogs are like the only two trained for this.
Only certain tasks can be done on the assembly check is the other catch. So like it's either going to be like dexterity based in general or like an actual tool kit that you might have proficiency with.
I have both those things.
I will be able to I could enhance ability of the both of you.
You only need one person because it's only one person doing the check.
Or I could guide whoever.
But it's going to be multiple castings.
Since if it's one person, I can guide you guys along the way.
That would.
I mean, if it's going to be a dexterity
guidance,
base,
the cantrip.
If it's going to be a dexterity base, I have a +5 at a minimum for whatever it is.
I have my dex is 15.
I got a 20.
Yeah.
I can just do it myself.
I think I still had one more day of messing with my
It's not
gem.
ideal.
Yeah, I know you said you had one more thing you were trying to do. I remember that as well.
Well, I just don't think I had it charged enough.
I had one
when you
that
almost decapitated us with the bouncing around
Actual
Eldritch
potatoes.
Blast.
I did have something that I did want.
Yeah,
to
I'm like 90% sure it wasn't like fully charged still.
To
I think
further
we were all going to
engrave-
finish it off together.
I do have, by the way, Crispy, I have 25 gold pieces worth of powdered silver that I wanted to implement into the engravings if possible. I don't know if that would help at all.
What's that?
25 gold pieces worth of powdered silver. I have it in my inventory as like because it's a spell component.
That you
But
want to
I would be
melt
willing-
into the rune carvings?
Yeah.
Like magically
Would that-
molded in or something.
Would that help at all?
Yes. So okay, so everybody's working on this check. What I will ask from you then. So
This
guidance.
is my reward for beating you up.
What is your proficiencies, Rhinesker? What are you trying to use to assemble this?
What were the things that were viable?
No,
actually.
Well, I don't know what your.
I had been making the whole thing with just leatherworking tools.
Yeah, so like there's like leather involved in, like it is a largely leather item. But I mean that's been put together already.
Then I can use the alchemy supplies.
How would you use the alchemy supplies? Is the question.
To attach cured strips to attach all the pieces all together properly.
Okay. What I was also going to say. Sorry, I'm just not familiar with what proficient tools are you proficient with?
Alchemy and poisoner.
Gotcha. Yeah, sure. You. So not only, yeah, go ahead. That's actually perfect. So with Hogs helping you and guidance from Grovekeeper, you Cruz, you're right. The gem. So when you say the gem is not charged, you are right in the hunch that it is not as magical of an item as, like, it's not as consistent of a charge as you would wish. Do you have the Arcana skill at all, Cruz?
No.
I think I always ask you this. Yeah, you literally have a magical gem on you. You know what a magical gem looks like.
Yeah.
It's not nearly as like flashy as what you'd expect. But in this process, you did previously invoke the help of Almer, and he will tell you that your gem, the gem you have here, it by itself is plenty magical. There is magic within it. It just has no outlet whatsoever to use it. Magic is magic is complex. It's not all about amount of magic in something. It's very much how you use it. It's about the swordsman, not the sword. The gem you have is plenty magical for the point. It's whether or not it works alongside what it is applied with, whether the magic is infused throughout the item or just the gem. So you could very much inset this gem in the final process. You would just have to also be there, and you will probably have to make your own check.
Would I have had time while they were doing all the other stuff there to work on it some more, infusing it further?
Yeah, if you wanna do like another day of work on it, you just go ahead and make a separate check. Are you fine with doing that on your last day of travel, or your last night before the last day of travel?
If it was at a different time and you let us know, I could guide you.
Oh, he's assuredly doing this in the dome, and I'll guide him myself.
Well, actually, no. This time I wouldn't be doing it in the dome because you're off with Rhinasker.
That's fair.
Although I would go off.
Yeah,
probably
we were having you do it in the dome, so we didn't have a mayor explosion problem at getting into town.
Yeah, I would go off by myself.
Yeah, where's Mugs right
Like
now?
we were accepting that we're fucked in the dome, but everyone outside would have been fine.
Yeah, let's re-traumatize the townspeople.
You want to know that also, like, you want to know the hindsight thing we really need to think about? We need an extra person to be in there, at least when you cast it, because there's a good chance that doesn't go away just from you being unconscious. If you're inside the dome and unconscious, but you haven't left, it should still stay for the full 8 hours.
You're just bleeding out inside the dome. You're right.
But no one can get inside.
Everyone is fucking dead inside the dome.
Eventually, the bubble just pops and it just lets out a wave of blood from the person inside who's completely bled out.
Damn, that goblin has a lot of blood in him. That's crazy.
All of
17
us.
for the check.
17 for the check. Okay. I mean, just kind of out in the open once more, on the side of a campfire with just like some kids standing feet away, just like, wow, Mr. Incredible. And like as they come up, you're like, eyes go wide as you're like, back away, and you go to motion, but you realize if you motion, this could get messy. You're just trying to like motion with your head. Go on now, kids. Come on, back away. Give me some space.
Back. Right. Yep.
As they're as you're just channeling arcane energy through these this gem. While you're doing this, well, I will say,
beating up hogs.
yeah, while you're beating up hogs, is well
Naturally.
Well, while everybody else is beating up hogs.
everybody else is beating up hogs, 100%.
Right.
You're not
The
on
second
hogs.
the dome
shit
goes
list.
up, all you hear on the inside is
Stay in here. Leave me alone.
Hogs just as hogs just hogs and Conrad walk past you as you're like working on the bench. Conrad goes, "Wow, that looks mighty dangerous. Careful there, folk. We're gonna go on a little walk through the woods. You know, just alone, late in the evening, just as we tend to do.
like
We'll
That's
see."
so creepy.
I don't judge.
That
You guys
is like
do
the
you,
creepiest
you know?
sentence
Whatever.
somebody
Everyone's
could
walking away. Why do you say it like that? That's so fucking weird.
What about you hear as he walks away? What, talking about how we're gonna walk alone into the woods?
Shut up! You're saying it louder now.
Oh, sorry.
We're gonna walk alone in the woods. Sounds like you're gonna do something nasty.
But they walk off as you're still working on the gem whirl.
Well, that was strange.
Even worse is you're gonna watch Conrad and Hogs come out. Hogs significantly beat up.
I have a black eye now. Like,
You all right, buddy?
I don't want to talk about it.
Hogs and Conrad, it's official now. Cruz thinks Hogs and Conrad go into the woods every night to beat each other up.
Hey,
Conrad looked fine.
First step of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club.
No one's allowed
You're
to go
More
away.
like they go into the woods to beat hogs up because Conrad was looking a-okay.
Hey, you don't win every fight.
As
Gotta stay
they
humble, you know.
as they return, Hogs looks a little beat up and bloodied. Everybody else, you do watch actually as Conrad is carried back too, as he's out for 2 hours.
Carrying him over my shoulder.
Sleepy boy.
So
Actually, I
actually,
can't carry him. Grovekeeper, you carry him.
Yeah,
I
Grove
can
Keeper
easily
carries
you just
carry
toss
him.
Conrad to him. You just motion.
Yeah, this is like I just went to go try to pick him up. No. Grovekeeper, you got this.
Hold on, I've done this before in the past.
I can't pick him up. Throws him.
Throws him, yeah.
Across.
Guys, me and Conrad have done this many times at the bar late at night. I've got this. As I slowly drag him across the dirt.
Guy, what
I mean, come
have
on, man.
you decided to
Keeper can
do?
easily carry.
So Guy is going to ask the help of Almer still
Okay.
and say, Mr. Almer, I had an idea. Using this weapon I recently purchased, could we not fashion something similar and only change the barrel aspect of it to make it more long range? This is a short range, and you see it flares out at the end. We want something more precise and distance-oriented.
Almer just goes, well, yeah, that's kind of the whole problem we got is we got the barrel. It's just how can we make it fire a projectile long? Every time we make it fire a projectile, it just blows up on our faces. It doesn't go very far. I will say that is the issue you are currently running into is basically you guys don't understand that a barrel has spiraling. if I'm being out of character candid.
Yeah.
But in character, like you can't get the proper propulsion on out of this barrel. You guys can use that to study. I mean, the idea is you already are using that to study. That is not the missing link. And I'm happy to explain it after your last day roll, because I'm afraid time has come.
Yeah. Okie dokie.
Actually,
So-
before you tell me the answer, what does every person need while they work?
What?
Luck? I don't know.
Does
A break?
Every person need while they work?
What do you?
Tools.
What is just great to have while you work?
Glasses.
Space?
Whistles.
Time?
Brain.
Okay, go ahead and try. Go ahead and tell me what you received.
22.
22.
I was
It'd
real
be nice to have
close.
tools.
It's close, but it's not good enough. And you know what
I
everybody
mean, I'm using my
needs?
tinker tools.
You know what everybody needs while they work?
Water.
Just a little bit of music in the background.
Oh, a bard. I forgot we had a bard.
If only you knew of a bard in town.
We have another bard.
Oh.
Well, we have a bard.
Sarberine.
Sarberine is the missing key. I feel comfortable telling you that now that you've arrived in town, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yes, Sarberine can give you bardic inspiration, which would have
What's
given
that
you an
last
extra
thing
D8.
that could always buff rolls?
I
Yeah,
wasn't
can
thinking
Sarberine
about it
help us?
mechanically. I
That's
was
why
thinking
I
about,
specifically
like...
said mechanically. I did at one point
You
say,
just said
what can you think of mechanically that would give you...
Oh.
I-
When you said, I guess I didn't think game mechanically.
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
guess I
the
see
gun
you.
mechanics?
Yeah.
I see that, okay.
Like, I was like, I thought I was already doing that, but I guess I need to be more specific.
But
And
no,
I was like, oh, yeah.
on that
whatever.
last day, you guys are working in your laboratory, and while you like try to perfect this barrel, you use some of the aspects from the previous gun. You create a basically a makeshift shotgun, except it's 100% single use. As when the barrel fires, it like splits, kind of like the like when you clog a gun in a cartoon. It just
Yeah.
like splits in different directions, and the barrel becomes absolutely useless. Almir just goes, honestly, this ain't half bad. We could probably just make like an interchangeable barrel, and you just carry a bunch of barrels with you whenever you do something. That way, every time you fire, you click, change the barrel, and reload it. No, then he just throws the gun
not
behind.
efficient.
It
No.
fires in the background. Shit.
Break it down for raw materials. We'll try again.
We'll get them next time when we arrive in town. As you say this, you can just hear Sarberine just walks by and goes, "Hey, what are you all doing over here? I just keep hearing loud banging. I'm trying to play music for everybody over by the fire, and it's kind of throwing off my rhythm."
You ruined my groove.
He then throws you out of a pallet.
That's what I need.
Um,
Tomorrow, you join
We'll
us.
land on a ballast somewhere.
And then into a river.
Are you starting a band? What am I joining you on?
You'll want to see this.
Okay.
Music
whatever
with
you say.
explosions.
Sarberine just goes, okay, but is that some sort of instrument? Seems impractical. You have to reload an instrument?
Only when you play it right.
An instrument of war. You crews are finished with the gem. Hogs, you're the last one here with a task. Grovekeeper is helping you with guidance. Well, I'm sorry. Rhinesker is the one actually doing the check. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm helping.
You're helping. Rhinesker
With
is
the help
making
action
the
kind.
alchemical supplies check. At
Real quick,
advantage with
we'll get
guidance.
We'll get you some more of that uncommon herb if you do a good job.
If I use the powdered silver, does it make it a little bit easier? If we use it?
Well, no, that is actually what's providing the help to this check.
Could we get... I just look at Grovekeeper. Hey, Grovekeeper, the guy who plays music.
Succeed where others have failed.
Sarberine just goes, I'm sorry, like I was just telling your friend, Guy, I'm over here playing music for some people at the moment. I'm a little busy. Sorry.
No, I was wondering where you were at so we could go and finish assembling it over there. I'm listening to some calming music.
I see. Well, unfortunately, 4 other people just came by and asked for bardic inspiration earlier today, so I'm all out.
Insight check. I think you're lying.
What a guy.
Hey, Sabrine, listen, we could put that arrow back where we found it.
Oof.
I'm kidding.
Make an intimidation check. No, I'm kidding.
I'll give
Whose
you a
arrow are
advantage.
you using? Not one of Guy's.
I stole it from Skulk a few days ago.
So this is 2d20s plus a d4, and this is going to be a
And obviously
dexterity.
some bardic inspiration.
No, just doing alchemical supplies, because this is, you're attaching a number of features in a various different ways, including melting down the powdered silver into liquid form to pour into the runes. So you're not only finishing off the runes, you're attaching the leather straps, you're sealing everything off. You are absolutely completing this using your alchemical supplies.
Yeah, no. I was asking if it could be a dexterity-based alchemical supply.
No.
That only makes it a plus 5.
The whole time as Grovekeeper's guiding you and you're making the runes, he's just like, oh, what's that? Oh, what's that?
Oh, that.
Oh, but what's
I'm
that?
asking because I'm
I gotta-
going to put them there and I have no clue.
I got a 4 on the d4. I get an 18, and I got a plus 5. So that is
27?
27.
Okay.
Good.
You guys
I
have
rolled a
this thing.
16 and an 18.
You guys have this thing laid
Nice.
out in front of, on a stump in front of a number of farmers' place here in the last day.
It's a
And
good
as like
stump.
a couple of like townsfolk from like it's literally like 3 farmhouses all at this like central point along the road where like one farmhouse reaches out to the south, one to the east, and one to the north. And you are at like a stump in the center of these 3. All the farmers in those farmhouses come out to see, as like part of your caravan also like watches as you guys work on this chess piece. It is black and purple at the moment. The chitinous purple plates are formed into this like rounded chess place with pauldrons, as well as a plating underneath the shoulders, and this back plate which rounds in this curved like rib-like manners with jutting points coming out the back. The leather is crinkled and black, however it resembles that of a tree bark, kind of like crinkled and rigid, kind of overlapping in parts. And as you kind of have it laid out over the stump, you work on a nearby caravan pulled up, Rhinasker, a sort of like flip out like bar, which you're using to mix a couple of different concoctions. You have an adhesive brewing, you have silver being melted down in an alchemical concoction. and you have a coating being prepared, all in a line of alchemical supplies, with Almer by the side, kind of tending to them, watching the fires as you work one at a time. First, attaching adhesive to strips of leather and using it to seal off all the sides. And you watch as you lay each strip of leather, it sort of wrinkles and tightens as it touches the rest of the leather.
One thing that I would put a personal touch on, because this is for Grovekeeper, correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I put in the back, like on the inside of the back plate, on one of the leather straps, in my people's language, it says, "May the wolf's howl follow you into the night."
Okay. You burn this into the armor as each leather strap that you seal the sides with turn to like a crinkled bark. And you watch as they slowly shift colors as well. The final step, you pull out the silver off the burner and start laying it inside each rune that you carved, using a little bit to leave a remnants on the leather in the script that you spoke, and laying silver inlaying in each of the runes as you and Hogs kind of teeter, sweating over this armor. You spend your evening doing this as a number of townsfolk like lean in as the wind picks up, and it turns into like a howl of a windy night as you guys work in this clearing. Grovekeeper, you watch from back as Rhinosker and Hogs work on the silver, and as Cruz, you kind of like watch from the back. Grovekeeper is like on knees in prayer. As the wind picks up, you open your eyes and look forth as in the center of this clearing, a singular pillar of moonlight is shining down on the center of them, unperceivable from where you two stand. You're, Rhinosker, not even aware that it's like shining down on you. Maybe you get like a chill in your body, maybe like your hairs stand up, but you don't actually see like this beam. But from outside, it's very clear as you guys lay silver, and it sort of gleams from the outside as it lays down in the moonlight. And as you finish that, Almer, like awestruck from the outside, from the beam of light, like, oh, like looks at you guys as he like returns the silver you hand him from the outside, and he moves back with the adhesive, like looking at you in awe. You look from the inside like he's crazy, but it's Almer and you're kind of used to it. So you take the adhesive.
He's been locked up with Guy for so long.
Yeah, you take the coating and start laying it over the chitin. And as you do it, it is imperceivable, just kind of gives it a last minute sheen. Laying it over, you then do start to see this like silvery haze, which washes over the purplish chitin. And as you hand the empty vial back to Almer, he takes it back and approaches with the gem, which he takes from you, Cruz. Or actually, he gestures for you to approach Cruz with the gem. And inset, there is a reservoir left here at the base of the neck, where just the tiniest bit of inlaced silver is swirled in a carving, with this sort of crescent set on either side of it, where you would then set the purple gem. And as Rhinosker lays just a line of silver along the outside, you press in the gem, and a spark of purple washes from your fingertip with that final push, Cruz, and washes outward across the armor, causing like a flare of bright light from the silver moonlight on the outside. You just blink and turn away for a brief second, and the moonlight is gone. And the armor sits there with a twinkle in the silver runes on its form, just like glistening as if like alive by moving moonlight. You just watch as streams of silver kind of move amongst the actual silver metal. Just like a little bit of purple dances amongst the silver from the rune. or from the gem.
Just look at it.
So
I think it's finished.
Done.
I believe it's done now, right?
I think so.
Elmer yells from behind, "Is it done?"
I'll
I go-
cast detect magic.
It's magic.
I look over
Kind
at
of
Grove Keeper.
magic.
Grove.
Abjuration.
Grove Keeper, come put this on.
Yeah, I'll have put on the new breastplate. I assume I might need to attune to it.
You would, yes.
Not only did we make a magic item, we made an attunable one, baby.
Well, I mean, it seems
That-
cool.
Awesome.
Something I don't think we said. Now, we had 7 chunks of those plates. How many do you think we went through
All of
in
them.
making this? All of it? Got it.
Sounds good.
There we go. Remove.
I think it was-
Okay.
I just look at you and go, after you put it on, you look good.
It seems to fit well.
Well, we
Well,
did
yeah,
kind
I
of make
did.
it for you.
You literally don't remember 4 days ago? I literally measured you for like an hour.
I mean, you climb around me all the time. I don't always ask what you're doing.
I guess it's fair. I just thought it's weird that you didn't notice the tape measure.
I mean, you're kind of small to me.
Whatever.
It'd be
Okay.
like if you noticed a squirrel measuring
Well,
you.
Just
I
kind of can't wait
believe-
to see what it does.
I believe that is the last thing we do with the new armor on you. It kind of twinkles in the moonlight. But
Yeah, we'll
You-
find out if we end up having to fight what happens.
Yeah,
Almer looks at it for you. He pulls out the identification glass and looks at it.
Yes.
Goes, quite magical. Indeed. That should provide you a little bit of extra protection in battle. He then looks at you as you all are expecting more from him. What?
If you don't talk right now, I'll beat the shit out of you.
Look at the time. He pulls out a broken stopwatch. I have to go, and he leaves.
Get over here! I got that shit beat out of me earlier.
Okay.
You're not following me like this.
Stopwatch.
as he does, I just trip him.
He falls. He just not even gonna save. He just falls. He goes, ah! He
You
drops
broke
the.
my stopwatch.
Yeah,
I
he
just
looks
look
at
at
it. He goes, yeah, it's broken. Look, you broke it.
I just look at him and I go, "You should really look out for the tree stumps."
Yes, well, not the first time I've fallen. It won't be the last.
I believe it.
He goes, no, but seriously, that'll be quite. There's a little bit of a surprise packed in there for you, which I think will be quite entertaining if I leave it up to, the chances. So long. And he heads off.
God,
Can I grab his stopwatch?
Could be fun. It will
Yes.
be fun to see what it does. We
Make
don't need
a
the answers to
make
everything.
a sleight of hand check.
you're right. I just can't wait to see what it does.
Hit me.
17.
Just like I can't wait for my weapon to become magical. Whenever that happens.
Whenever that'd be cool.
I mean,
He goes.
I can do it with a cantrip for a minute.
He as he falls and he goes to clamor and pick up his stopwatch, you snatch it by its chain and pull it in. He goes, hey, what'd you do that for?
I cast mending on his stopwatch.
Oh. I appreciate it.
Is
Thank
it
you.
working now?
Or does it still need more?
No. It is not
Oops.
working. But you fix the glass. That's mighty nice, I suppose.
I toss it back to him.
You watch as he drops it, it cracks. He goes, shit! Well. And he walks away.
This guy. Next day.
He is an artificer. He very
True.
much can fix that stopwatch.
Yeah,
I thought I'd take a crack at it.
but
Huh?
Now he doesn't have to.
Yeah, you guys travel along the next day. You beat up hogs. You create your
Naturally.
armor and whatnot. And as you head the next morning, the day is bright and beautiful. The sun is out. Early in the day, a number of folk can be seen along the road ahead that you are headed toward, and as your kind of like large caravan barrels through a large like berth is given, and people do eye you along your journey toward the heart of town. You head south down the road for hours throughout the day. You do stop in this little cobbled town square, which is just north of the city. The town has like 7-8 buildings. That is their whole town, but they've got like a little nice cobbled road just outside of town. And it is like normally it would be just like 2 hours like ride down the road from Valomeer, but like trot even down the road. But with your guys' caravan, it is just another half day, and you are arriving late into the evening around sundown. The sun.
It's okay. I know.
My
It's
dog. Just before stream, we found she broke her nail, like her whatever this one is nail, like the one up here.
Their thumbnail.
Yeah.
I think that's considered their thumb.
Yeah. And like we're just really
Is
concerned.
that their
'cause
your dew claw?
I think something like that.
That sounds like a thing I've heard before.
And she just like, we took her on a walk, and the entire beginning of the walk, she walks like with a limp, like around the town, but like halfway through the walk, she's just walking completely as normal. And I like, it's so funny when you wrap up her paw, she's just the most dramatic afterward. She'll like limp her entire body down the road like she was just punched or something, and I feel like as I'm walking around the neighborhood, I'm like,
Gotta get those sympathy points, man.
I'm not abusing my dog. I don't abuse my dog. She broke her nail. I think she did it by clawing the door, because like I have it shut because she'll bark at the like mailman, so I had to shut it during the morning game today, and I think she clawed the door so hard her nail came off. That's the only thing I can think, at least. Sorry, that just made me think of it. Anyway, you guys are walking through farmland, basically. Outside of Valomeer North, you know, Grovekeeper guy, that it is mostly just farmlands, especially north of here, and north and actually, yeah, north and west of Valomeer, both of you are aware is mostly farmland. Your town is the only like large town, west of Valomeer. Brenfield was the only town north, and these small like farming communities are just but like barely villages as you pass by them. But as you head down the final stretch of road as the sun is setting, you start to head onto cobbled streets as you just approach the final stretch toward the city. The large masoned brick walls encompass the northern half of the city, and you can see the ooh, jeez. You can see what is the top of West Road Keep just over the walls of these northern cities, or this northern wall. And as you head, you do cross back by that cobbled little town of 7 houses or so. You do cross a little river bridge, which as the river splits off, it heads down 2 separate paths toward Valomeer, and Valomeer is encompassed on both sides by 2 little rivers, and you finish your final stretch of road between these 2 small little rivers, a number of farms stretching out to the river's edge on either side. As you all approach, you see, no, you're fine. You see out front of the gates, lined up along the wall, the northern wall, you can see soldiers dressed in silver armor, iron, and green tunics, lined up one by one, each carrying swords and spears, going down the line. Oh, I'm sorry, swords and spears, shields.
Didn't we
and
send?
spears,
We sent word ahead,
did.
right?
Out front of this line of soldiers, you can see 3 individuals.
I would have Queenie on my shoulder as we approach town.
Okay.
We're up front, right? All of us.
I'd assume so.
Yeah, probably.
I'd want us to be.
You guys, take a few steps ahead. The ones with you, Mother Lena, is with you. Helen Keenhammer is with you. Dalen Hardwin and Nathan Barragut is with you, as well as some of the tribes leaders, including Zrovek, the, of course, leader of the Pact. You also have with you Moral, leader of Utagar's Hand, as well as the leader of the Black Tongue Gang, Deke. Behind you is Cagnog, currently atop Velkar. Sorry, Moral is not up front with you. Moral is in the back line. Oog is up front with you. Cagnog, Deke, and Ekmagar all line behind you, along with Noel, who sits with Almer and Durhenia. Diavora. Durhenia and Styx are behind them with the cart, and you guys all approach up front. Greeting you guys at the gate, you only see one familiar face, Cruz, and that is Eldon, of course, as he stands on the right, or I guess on your left as you're approaching. The guy in the center in front of you is of course, no one you recognize. It is a halfling, or I'm sorry, not a halfling. It is a it is a half elf in the center. They have sort of like narrow, thin features, very smooth skin, like silver hair, which is like massed up in a bun with like 2 thin needles going through them. They have on a pair of glasses and wear a set of very fine robes, and they have a set of books under their arm. Just like small, like writing journals. That is in the front. Standing at their right is Eldon, the chief lieutenant, as he introduced himself, of Valomeer. And on the other side of this robed individual is a drow woman. She is dressed in full armor, big silver pauldrons, green tunic, a kind of like white sash over that, set in with a pair of what are they called? Epaulets on the side, which are big and colorful and have like these golden baubles which hang down front and back. They carry a long sword at their side, a shield on their back, and a spear in their hand. They are rather tall, fairly thin but broad-shouldered, and they stand just a bit taller than Eldon currently as you approach, and they all stand at attention. The one in the center, the half-elf, with like silverish hair, not at attention in the military sense, but definitely standing upright and well put together. As you approach,
Sorry.
one of them raises their hand and goes, "Greetings, citizens of Brenfield. We bid you welcome to Valomeer and its surrounding limits. Word has reached us of your recent troubles, and for this, we would like to offer our humblest apologies. For one to be displaced as you have been is a tragedy. We have prepared a small plot of land just to the west of the north gate here," and gestures off to the side, where you all can make camp for your time here in Valomeer. I do believe some of your leadership have requested a meeting with the king, but unfortunately his schedule is rather busy as of late. The Emerald Order will happily see your requests and do what they can. I see your numbers are much greater than just the town of Brenfield. I am sorry to inform you, we cannot offer much, but the simple plot of land we can muster is all we have for the time. If you are all to enter Valomeer, for the time being, you must share. We, along with conference from your leadership, will decide how to go further from here. We ask for your patience while we sort this out. I am council person Lander Wasanthi. It is my pleasure to welcome you to Valomeer for the time being, and hope for only safety and fair health for you in the near future. Stepping forward on the left comes the drow individual. This woman stands forward, holds her chest out wide, and goes, I am Captain Kelrena Calfia of the Valomeer Guard.
Nobody.
I am in charge of all forces here within the city limits, and my word here is law. Should you be taking up lodging in the surrounding regions of Valomeer, you must obey its laws and, by extension, my word. Now, if you would care to follow me, I will show you to your allotted land for the foreseeable future. She steps forward and holds her hand out as a number of soldiers start to move down the road to the left of where she is standing. You can see now Eldon makes eye contact with you, Cruz, and just kind of like subtly gestures for you to approach.
like to speak or just like move up to?
Well, they seem to be walking like the captain of the guard that just introduced themselves just walked past your line of people in the front and started gesturing to the people behind you to follow them. As they did that, Eldon gestures for you to approach.
Gotcha.
And your group up there in front. As you do, Eldon gives you a nod, I assume. I assume you approach.
Yes, I will approach.
Guy also approaches.
And we'll say, hello, my name is Whirl, and I'll nod at Eldon.
He nods back. The person in the front goes, I am Wasanti, councilperson Wasanti. You can call me Lander.
We thank you for your generosity. And
let's not get ahead of ourselves quite so fast.
Agreed.
You all have walked into quite a predicament, and that is what I wish to discuss here with you all.
More of a predicament than what we're already in? Or are you just talking about the general predicament that we're in and of itself?
I suppose both. Come, walk with me into the city limits. We will speak there. He looks off to the chieftains, and goes, you should probably see to your people that they get situated all right. Clavrel goes, I'm sorry, not Clavrel. Srovek goes, I believe my people can get on quite all right without me. I wish to be here for any sort of negotiations you choose to make. They put up a hand. I guarantee no agreements will be made without your people at the table. But
I would appreciate if they accompanied us as well. If that would not be a...
For the time being, it might look poorly on the situation to be seen walking through the streets with... How can I put this?
To be honest, the people are going to see him anyways.
If you wish.
It would be nice to show a sense of unity and friendship with our new allies in the days to come.
Well, I hope your new allies are comfortable with receiving bad news in public.
Well, it sounds like we're all going to be receiving bad news, so might as well be together, right?
Okay. Then enter our town of Valomeer. Welcome to the haven on the lake. And the doors of the city swing open, and you're let into a very busy, bustling city street. Carts kind of rush by. Many faces turn to look at these large goblinoid chieftain who kind of enter with a rather well-known figure within the city. Then I will speak to all of you as we walk. I am but one member of 8 on the Emerald Council. And we often do dictate what comes and goes in and out of our city. We are, unfortunately, dealing with tough times within the walls here. And your band of countrymen, showing up at this time is rather inconvenient, as our harvest for this year has just started, and we do not have the means currently to meet the population we hold. The news of Brenfield's assault is, well, not good on this front, as we were expecting a shipment from them quite soon.
I apologize for the inconvenience.
No.
No.
You misunderstand. I am but informing you of our current issue. I am but one of 4. And, if I'm being candid, I am the most receptive of... I am one of 8. I am one of the most receptive of the 8. There are others, however, who do not wish to see our numbers increase to the point of ruin within our city. What I'm trying to build up to is that currently the council has decided to leave you all on the northern side of the city. If what Eldon here has told me is true, which would mean what you have told me is true, which would mean that pillar of black smoke on the horizon would be none other than Brenfield, laid to waste.
That is our assumption.
Then, remaining on the northern side of Brenfield will not fetch you any semblance of safety. Correct.
Not really.
Then, what you all are going to need to do is make a case for your acceptance within the walls. For, as it stands, the current vote of the Emerald Order is that we take in Brenfield citizens and only Brenfield citizens.
Well, then sounds like we have some work to do to change those minds, because fortunately we made an agreement with our fine friends here. They would not be turned away from
For
your
our
lovely town.
acceptance.
For our acceptance, right. So,
The,
they stay out,
this person
we'll
like
stay out.
looks up at the orcs and or the goblins, and like they are quite large, and kind of like sizes them up. Right. Well, I did figure that was the agreement. That is why I wish to speak to you privately, not to undermine this agreement, but to let you soften the blow how you saw fit. If I'm being forthright, this does not mean it is impossible for you to get within the city, but that people will need swaying. Unfortunately, the most important of them is currently the king. Not that he has any problem with your lot, but when such a young lord takes the throne, he often just goes where his council points him. So, you could do one of 2 things. Get the king on your side, or get the council on your side. One could sway the other, or vice versa. That's up to you. I am but one council person. I am a person of faith, however, and I do believe that we can band together and pull through this, so long as we have just that.
I am one of few council members of faith.
Can I whisper into Whirl's ear? It's like, should probably figure out what the council needs and get them what they need.
Does the council make a unanimous decision? Do we need the full council or just a majority?
Depends if you have the king or not. If you have the king on your side, you only need half the council. If you have a majority of the council, you have no need for the king.
I will also
What do
whisper-
they?
Sorry.
What would they require? Or who would we need to talk to? I suppose.
I
Are you our only supporter?
recommend not your only. There's another who was quick to speak on your behalf, and some who refrained.
Who are the most outspoken ones against us?
The most outspoken would be Oleia of Lake Vallis, Councilman Shadowcloak, Councilman Councilwoman Har, and Councilman Laumi. Lami. I will put that in chat for you. These are the opposers.
There was 2 for, and then 2 that just abstained.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then there's the king, who is currently just
Against,
listening to
because
his
the
advice.
majority of your council is against. You watch as they do move within an estate, which is rather nice. And as a servant comes up and gives a drink to this council person as soon as they enter, you can assume it is their house, or they have some sort of association with it.
Why are they against this?
This is the sad part of it, is most of the council is driven by greed. Simple as that, as it often is.
They do understand that there's an army coming to burn the town down, right?
Yes, and are you aware of how sieges often go?
Not in cities, no.
It is a war of attrition, often. And those on the inside, if not killed outright, are starved for food. That is what this news is brought to the minds of many. At least many with a long-time vision of our future. And that is why I'd imagine Councilperson Glanhig abstained. They're often pretty reasonable, but pragmatic, to say the least.
What about...
I'm just typing out the names for
Yeah.
each council person in which section they voted.
Isn't the question... Well, I'll put this to Whirl, because he's kind of our spokesperson. Whirl, you should probably ask what they're going to do with Glengrove then. Because if Glengrove is on the side, they're gonna get the refugees to here. And if that's 2 different towns, what are they going to do with the town that's there? Couldn't they just send the goblins and the orcs all there? Have them wait out there and then use them as a secondary force? Possibility.
Right. What do you intend to do with the towns outside of the city walls? The people and villages out there?
We have sent word to them. Our chief advice was to begin travel south, seek refuge either within the Timberwolf Forest or in Catalima. We cannot assure that the town of Glengrove will do that. If they also show up at our gates, we will have to cross that bridge as well.
Glengrove would be a safer place for the goblins if they're going to get stuck outside. Send them there,
Right.
and they also get into the forest.
There is no
They're not gonna be a
military
bother.
value to Glengrove.
Renfield has no military value either. And
No,
still
but it's a
burning.
straight shot to Valomeer. They have no
Oh.
reason to go back out to the west to take a city, I'd imagine.
Didn't we find soldiers in the middle of the forest, though?
You found zombie soldiers.
Still soldiers. That means they were out there at some point.
They were scouting lands nearby, that is for sure. But no, it seems that also, by the way, I did miscount, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just make sure.
I just don't want to. I'm just personally thinking that I don't want these goblins that we helped survive so far just to die outside the gates because they didn't want to let them in. If anything, we could try to bring them down into the Timberwood Forest.
Yeah.
The Timberwood Forest is huge.
I mean, if
I'm
we
not-
need to take them to Glengrove,
Take them to
I
Glen.
mean, I know some people there, not anyone that's like a higher up, but I also agree that the people of Glengrove are probably just not going to leave. They're all, you know,
Veterans, aren't they? They're like war soldiers. Old soldiers.
retired
I feel like
adventurers, war veterans, sure, but they're probably not going to go anywhere.
So
I feel
were the
like we've
people of
moved from honoring our deal with the people of the town to just find some place to put them, which I'm not okay with.
Well, if
It's about
Valomeer
keeping
won't,
them
we could
safe.
take them to Glengrove and try there.
What I will
I-
advise you all now is,
mean,
even
I was
if
gonna
you
say-
let them within the walls, are they safe if they're then starved to death inside our wall?
No, I don't think so. But I think there's one factor that no one has brought up so far, and that is, why are we just letting them plow through our land? The idea originally, from our point of view, was that we were just Brenfield. We're a lot of elderly, mostly.
Yes.
And then the goblins couldn't stand a chance to fight this army on their own. And so our idea
But
was
they
to
are
come
willing
here.
to fight.
Yes.
They're
They are,
willing
and
to
they are
fight.
very capable of fighting.
And there are some of us that are willing to fight. So I guess maybe our question to Valomeer should be, will you guys fight with us? So that way, no more of this land is tainted by these people and their wrongdoings.
We also don't know how big the army is.
We are unsure.
But I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, scouts sent out to get an idea?
Well,
I'll look at the lady we're with.
I mean, we
Um,
know the enemy.
It's a guy.
It is
The guy.
neither.
Sorry.
It is very ambiguous.
Oh, solid.
Nice.
They are very elven in that sense.
Got it.
They look at you and go, well, we have already plans to meet them on the outside of our towns. We have our townsfolk moving in currently, and they will not get to our walls just yet. However, we're not a rich nation, and that is the current issue. These council people are selfish. Simple as that. Many of them have businesses within this city and empires even within the kingdom. They wish to see those profit over these people, many of them, and I don't know what we could get to sway those. But I know most of my fellow council people have hearts, and they can be tugged on, if not sometimes harder than I can. We can get them to see reason. That being said, Valomeer recently overextended, so to say, in its growth, and this is what I wanted to show you. And they gesture around, and part of like what you haven't noticed outside the window is a lot of the city is empty. And as you guys walked here, you did notice, like, you went from a very bustling section of the city, and then as you went into like the eastern part of this district, it became barren and like a ghost town. And as they gesture outside, they go, this is what I'm talking about exactly. This section of town is called East Willow. It's part of Willow Heights, the extension to the north that we've recently added since Valomeer was growing. Ever since the war and the tribes were united, people did start flocking to Valomeer in waves. We had a decade of growth, and for that, our city grew maybe a little too quickly. We invested in the East Isle first, a section of the city to the east, walled it in, made it safe, made it beautiful, and then did the same to the north. However, that might have been premature, and some businesses have yet to prosper in the area and have remained unfulfilled investments. If we were to let waves of folk in because of fear of war, certain council members fear that these investments of theirs would get occupied without any sort of financial gain to themselves, you see. And
These people care about money more than they care about the people. That's right.
Well, it seems you have a large area of unpopulated people.
you do see... Yes, that is true. Oh, 1 second. You were saying, Cruz?
It would seem that you have a large section that is unpopulated, and we have a large group of people that needs a place to stay. To me, it would seem like a problem that could easily sort itself out, especially if the people that we have willing and understanding to cooperate in the commerce of said region.
Step out front for me real quick. And he gestures out the front. Yes, right, Asker.
I kind of move away from that conversation, and I want to go talk to the goblins real quick.
Yeah, you can do that. He kind of gestures you out to the this frontward balcony on the front of the estate and just goes, "You see what problem we have with that idea, though?" And he gestures to all the empty houses, and you see they're all incredibly nice. These are some high-end manors which have been built prematurely. And probably was expected for profit. And you watch as he goes, "Yes, you do see. I have purchased one, for they are some of the nicest houses in our city. And their investors expect compensation. Nice, prestigious folk with lots and lots of compensation." Right, you cut away to the other group.
Yeah, the leader of the I forget his Morgul.
Moral is not with you.
Clovrel is.
No, Clovrel is not the leader. He is the lieutenant. I always get it. Srovek is the name.
Srovek. Srovek's there, correct?
Yes.
Srovek, question for you.
Yes, what is it? He's looking quite upset and irate. Obvious reasons.
I understand that this situation isn't the best, but you and your people collect a lot of shinies, correct?
Yes. My people don't, but... And he looks back to Deke, who is, looking really, really close at some silverware and putting it in his bag. He goes, "But some of the tribes do," and Deke, of the Black Tongue tribe, turns around and puts his hands behind his back. Yes.
If we could collect a lot of the shinies that your people have, it might give these people a reasonable financial reason to let your people.
I'm not familiar with this word, financial.
Trade, right?
They want payment for us to live here.
I mean, what did you expect? You're coming to live in a city where they've built, protected.
No one's given a house for free.
Make a persuasion check.
Persuasion?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a natural 15.
Okay.
That's all I got, though.
He goes,
"No, I suppose it makes sense."
Nobody ever gets anything for free. Think about it, even you. To help Brenfield, you got their food.
We, of course, will offer aid to this town. Its walls will be under our defense. Is that
So
not
you
enough?
offered look how pretty this town is. How many shinies they have. How many people they have.
Vanity.
Think if it was your tribe offering lodgings for another tribe.
We would expect nothing but work.
So, give them work.
And
Give them
that
shinies.
is what you would be able to ask for, but what they expect is payment.
And you offered help in their defense.
And it's
so now
what they've built their town on.
We have no payment to offer. We do not collect gold like they do, but baubles that we can scrounge. I can offer them work, the body of myself and my people. We carry with us all we have. that
Renfield is
we
going to offer the same.
can forego. But we ask for an equal share of what they have as well.
I just think about it because there's no way they're going to offer an equal share. Period. But what they will give them is just enough. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you've also got to think like this is a tribe. This is literally how they operate. They go, okay, we will become one tribe as long as we're all treated evenly. And for you guys to go like, and that's why it makes sense to him. Okay, we will give us everything we have. We'll become everything you have, but we all have to share everything we have. Which just makes sense to them. The concept of we'll give you everything we have in exchange for just a place in the corner of your town is not even like fair exchange in that. They would still expect like food to come through and stuff like that, but that's the stuff they would be giving up is their food, their leathers, their you gotta understand that also the most valuable things to these people are food. So when you say like you need payment, they'll go like, okay, well we'll give you the stuff we use to survive. There's nothing more valuable.
Oh no!
And this town,
like
yeah, you get it. Yeah, you get it.
I get it too.
He's just like at an impasse because he's like I understand. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same
There's
with
no way.
Grovekeeper. Yeah, it's like it makes sense to him, but that's not how this town is going to view it.
That's not how their culture views it. And like, there's no way he's going to be able to convince him over one conversation. Especially now with Brian Asker's fucking persuasion.
No, and what I will say is your persuasion has gotten through to him, but like what he is saying is he's like, we've got nothing else to offer. Like I will get like he is full on saying he's like, I will give them everything we have. We just expect this in return. And
I get it. No,
yeah. So like, all I'm saying is you can't really get anything from him. You've already gotten everything. You're just gonna have to come back with a counter offer to see what they'll have to offer for everything this place has, or everything the goblins have.
I go and whisper to Whirl what he's told me.
You come out. You just say that to the guy in front of him. You say like they're willing to offer everything, or do you whisper it to him?
No, I'll just tell him because it doesn't make sense to me to hide that.
He turns to you and goes, "Well, that's good. They should. That makes sense. This is their life on the lines. They would wish to give it all."
They went out of their way to protect people that they would normally raid.
Here is what I will say. I have made my case to the council. They have not listened to me. I have only been able to get favorable looks from Glanig and Mystan.
How are we supposed to convince them?
I can get you all in front of the council. I can also give you information where each of them resides, if you would like to speak to them beforehand.
Well, I think that's a good idea.
I can give you information on each of them, but my word can only go so far. They need yours. There are others you should think of speaking to. The captain of the guard has some pull. She has friends in high places. Captain Calfia, you met her. She showed your people where to go.
Right.
But she can be rather unforgiving as well. So tread on thin ice if you do. You've already met Eldon. He might have some friends that he could pull some sway with. I would ask him.
And then there is, of course, the advisors to the king. They do, of course, have direct ears to the king himself, and if you seek out one of them, they should be able to sway his opinion.
But do you know which one of them would be more receptive to us?
Ooh, that is tough.
Because I heard about the old finance one died, right?
Yes, that is true.
I don't think finance is going to be the way we go anyway. We're not swimming in gold.
Well, I would actually speak to the new advisor. He's a fresh ear, new in from the area. He's a very nice young chap. Ivan is his name. You should find him in some of the bars near the docks in by Fort Vallis. He is an often frequenter of the nightlife around here. Let's put it that way. Gunther is rather nice. The mage who works with the king. He's part of the Kaithar Consortium. Very powerful mage, well connected. He may be able to get you things, and no one in the city can. Finnan is rather stuck in her ways. I would go see her if you're of the spiritual persuasion, both naturalistic or not.
Did he just point at me when he said that?
No, they gestured actually behind. It was actually to be for. I mean, you would definitely be they gestured inside as you're on the balcony. Technically, you're still half inside, but it's like Grovekeeper and the other tribes folk, like all the other tribes leader. So technically, you too, since you just came from that conversation. But yes,
I mean, me and Grovekeeper could go talk to her. Maybe I know you're good with the bar. Talk to that Ivan guy, right, World?
Yeah, I could talk to him.
Maybe I just don't know. I'm not good at this. This is your. I'm gonna just leave.
The first ones I do recommend you speak to are the ones that were on the fence. Everybody seemed afraid to speak up in favor of you all, as when the council is swayed one way, everybody tends to agree with the majority. Once 5 people vote yay, it seems the next 3 will tend to vote yay as well. I was the standout amongst the group, and luckily someone did. Otherwise, well, let's not talk about otherwise. The other 2 are Glanhig, Councilperson Glanhig, and Councilman Mystan.
But even then, that would only give us 4.
That would give us 3, myself and those 2.
But if we can convince the king, that's only 4.
Yes, I would recommend just starting there. They should be able to get a foot in the door elsewhere, or help you from there. Again, the council works like dominoes. Once the majority is swayed, the others will vote. But there is only going to be 1 more vote on this matter. So do what you're going to do quick.
Whatever you decide.
He will go into detail about both the 2 council people he's informed you of. Councilperson Glaneg is a dwarf. An older dwarf, has been around for a couple generations now. They have like a dark grizzled past that a lot of people aren't actually familiar with. But like today they seem like, as they're a council person today, they're very
He left us when we needed him the most.
Well, I will say this is something you're going to need to spend next session doing.
Plan out more.
Yeah, you guys are going to be doing like a full session of convincing the townsfolk tomorrow, or next week, or convincing these. So,
don't we only have like one day, like one full day of them behind us?
No,
And then the army's here?
they're at least a few days behind you.
Okay.
They stopped
yeah.
in Brenfield to burn it, is the idea.
It
There's no
seems
one
that
left.
way.
Why would they stop
The
there?
farmlands.
Yeah,
they,
but
they
the
took
the
food
food's
or
gone.
burned what could be brought back. Basically, that's exactly why they burnt it. Is they wouldn't have burnt it if nobody left. If they would have left for them to join up in their army, there would be no reason to burn it. They burned it as a fuck you to the town of Brenfield for leaving. You can assume.
This whole situation sucks.
Yes, it does. And what this council person will tell you, what council person Wasanthi will tell you is, Councilman Mystan, council person Glonig is a grizzled dwarf who has a very dark, mysterious past, very dark and mysterious. And they've been alive for 2 generations now in this town and have been quite wealthy through most of it. So there's a lot of mystery about why Glanig holds their power in town, but they're also so seated and so powerful that they can quietly sit in the background of every council person's meeting and nobody can be any of the wiser. They're very silent though and keep to themselves. So there's not much that can be told you on Nora Glanig, but except that she's a grizzled old dwarf that's very tough and has a dark, mysterious kind of adventurer's past. The other one is
Mystin?
Hirathak Mystin, a dragonborn who fought for the Estorarian people, the Estelosian people, in the war against the Dragon Lords. In fact, he was central in that battle and gained fame from his acts, his heroic acts in battle during the War of Scales. So he is quite literally a war hero, who is a paladin of Aora.
Interesting.
Yeah, I wonder who's going to talk to him. Hogs.
What they will say to you on my stand is, honestly, he is the one I like the most out of the council people. I have no reason to hate Glanig, to be honest, but they're quiet and put me on edge. My stand, on the other hand, he is quite noble, zealous in his worship, and is all around a kind-hearted person. The only reason he didn't vote, I assume, for you all, is because he is often seen as a member of our previous enemy's forces. Publicly, he has very little standing with the people of Estorari, and quite a bit of judgment. As being a Dragonborn, very much the other side of the War of Scales was often Dragonborn forces. He fought for the Estorarian people, so he gets a war hero's right, but the people still see him as a foot out of line, and he gets a whole bunch of judgment.
Yeah.
So that's what Launder tells you about him.
Just out of curiosity, Crispy, what color Dragonborn?
Copper.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay. Well, at least when's this council meeting gonna happen?
You have a few days. 2, to be in fact.
2 days to try to convince these people. Great.
I will be helping you in any way I can, and you, I recommend, should go for the quickest route possible. That is why I recommend the 2 I do. The king, might I add, is another quick route to go about it. But should you get the king on your side, I recommend one of the naysayers in the council as well, as that would be 4 and the king, which should do it.
I have no thoughts on the king. Yeah.
I will say this candidly in the safety of my own home. The king is a fool. He's a young lad. It's not his fault. But he is easily swayed. You can get in close to the king, which I will spend my time, if you wish, to see if I can do that. He may take a liking to you. He may not.
I would try. But I have no love for your king. His father already betrayed my people once. So what's the point?
I see.
I mean, he's not his father.
He is a fool just like him.
He is a fool like every child is.
Yeah, he is a child.
There's great
Let's not say
potential in the
anything.
man. And well, he's got a lot more of his mother in it. I will say
Let's
that
hope.
much.
I'm pretty sure he caught on to what I was saying.
Oh,
I
yeah.
said he betrayed my people already.
You what will I say? What else is there I can give you guys from this guy? He does also say, of any of the 5 who are against you, do you have any questions for me?
Who is the most likely to not?
I
So
have a question.
who's the most likely to pull their heartstrings?
I have a question. No. Who was the last one to say nay? And who was the first?
The first was Laomi. He does often vote first, but he is the one who brought up many of our concerns about a siege. He is incredibly smart, and that's dangerous.
So you have an order in which you vote.
Yes, it is first proposed. Votes first. Whoever proposes. And Laomi voted, and we went around.
So what's the order after that then?
Of the vote, he goes, it was then Nora, followed by Idim, Councilwoman Ha.
Okay, so wait. One, allow me. 2.
Councilwoman Ha, a rather a vicious businesswoman herself. Oleya then did vote nay after that. Followed by Brazic and Shadowcloak.
And when did the other 3 vote? Yourself included?
I voted after my stan. I was oh no, I'm sorry. I voted before Brazic.
You voted before Brazic, so you were the 4th to vote?
I was 4th to vote, yes.
And then 5, and then 6.
Shadowcloak
5
and my
is
stan.
Brazic. Okay. And then
That is part of why I think my stan is so such a good idea for you to go see. Not only is he a good person, it does take balls to withstand or withhold your vote even once once the council has decided. And the council pretty much had decided by the time my stan cast a withhold.
Oh, so they still cast a withhold, what order did they come in then?
My stand
They
was
were
last. Yeah, he was last after 5 had voted nay, basically.
Okay, and when did Glonhig vote?
Was
Understand?
second.
He was after Laomi?
Yes.
Okay.
Glanhig, they often withhold. They're incredibly undecided.
I get you. Thank you. That's very helpful.
Is there anything that the ones who say no need?
Oh, that's a tough one to say. Har is, of course, a businesswoman for and foremost. Laomi is a sort of I'm sorry, Brazek is a large investor in the developments we are currently inside.
So he stands to lose everything.
He does stand to lose a lot. I will be candid, there is some sort of approach in maybe bargaining for work in exchange for housing or something, but you must be convincing and really come up with an idea, proposal that a businessman like Brazek can back.
So just of a politics game and a numbers game, I feel like the people that, if we want to sway, that are already against are either Shadowcloak or maybe Olea. Olea? Just simply because Olea is the fourth to vote, third against, and all she has to go all she has to go off of before her is 2 naysayers and a withstainer who constantly withstands, correct? Therefore, she is very likely to just follow with the party, and she seems like a pretty heavy
We
top
do
note.
not know who will propose the vote first.
So you don't know who voted what yet?
No, the next vote. Anyone can propose it, is the thing. It is already a topic that has been breached, and any council person can propose it. There is a certain sort of value to me proposing it, I suppose, or my stan.
No, my meaning is that when the original vote happened,
Yes.
right? All that she had to go off of was that there were 2 people who said no, and 1 person who withheld, who normally
Who
withheld.
are you talking about?
Olea.
Olea? Yes,
Or
yeah.
Olea,
2 people
the
said
fourth
no.
voter.
Yes.
So it sounds like she might have been just following with what everyone else has said.
Possibly. She's actually a really well-known figure around town. You might be
Either
able to
her-
gain some favor with other people, like the townsfolk, should you get
Mhm.
Olea on your side.
Either her
Bit of a
or
celebrity.
Shadowcloak. The 2 people I think we should definitely not go for are maybe Brazek and Lamy himself. Because Brazek voted against right after the first vote for. And he was the 4th vote, declaring half exactly. And then Shadowcloak, also for the same reasoning of Olea, seems like he might just be following the so far half. If that makes any sense.
What do you know about Shadowcloak?
He is a very popular businessman. Dabblebob, is his name. Or, I'm sorry, Dabbledob. He runs one of the most prominent farm and one of the most prominent massive blacksmithing business here within the city. He is a bit of a rascally young gnome, sort of a wild partier himself, but yes, he quite he is quite a wild man. I'll say that much, but very smart head for business on his shoulders. Has created a massive manufacturing front for any sort of farm equipment, shoe horses, buckets, any sort of standard everyday equipment that you may need. The Dabble Bob factories do make quite a bit of things.
Sorry.
I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't have business workings with a number of other councilmen that may sway his vote behind the scenes. There are quite a few who work together to make the best of their businesses. Laumi and Ha being one of those.
Who's the underground?
What do you mean?
Who's the man you go to for the things that you don't want the people to find out about?
That's bit of a... I would not know. Again, I'm a bit of a zealous person, and it is currently what is benefiting you all the most. Not exactly a trade I partake in. I can tell you that much. But if you are spending time with some of the other council people, they may be the ones to check in on that.
The only reason I ask is because goblins are good at many things. Most of those things being below societal repute.
So what I will say, I do not partake in those kind of activities. Full stop. If I ever do need somebody to, I go see a man named Lorbin. He is the King's Ranger. Not saying he does these sort of acts, but he knows who to get in contact.
Lorbin. Okay.
You can find him, if not inside of Keep Valis, maybe around the perimeter of the city. He often frequents Timberwolf Forest around the lake as well. I will say he's known to do a bit of special acquisitions for the king. That gives you any insight into the young lord.
Got it.
We've spoken some time. I'm sure we've arisen some suspicions. Do you have a means to get in contact with me, should you need to, within the city?
I look at Hogs.
I guess. Yeah, I could talk to you.
You
If I need
all
to.
will be spending some time inside the city limits. Should you wish, I am happy to put you up in an apartment for the time being. You are muted,
Olive?
Grovekeeper.
Um,
The tribe's
That's
leaders, I
probably would
assume...
be good because of our situation.
I was going to say, the tribe's leaders, I assume, would like to stay with their tribes. They nod. Good. No, I was speaking for the emissaries for the tribe. It may look good to show your faces around town. There's quite a bit of news hitting the streets about goblin folk amassing at our gates. A public appearance might be in order. The last...
How do they look at me when they say that, if at all?
What do you mean?
I thought you hide
I mean,
yourself.
I am a goblin. Yeah, I do hide myself, but I am a goblin.
They have given you no
My
such
ears
weird.
poke out.
To be clear, it is not your race that sticks out. It is being dressing as a wild folk.
Okay, that's fair.
That is the difference in Esterar. That is like the big thing about Esterar. It's the divide between wild folk and Estelosians.
Basically, me and Grovekeeper would be the wild folk in our party.
Yeah, they look like you honestly look less. You're more accepted as an Estelosian just by look.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Very, very true.
I mean, I literally have bones in my hair that I just kind of use as hair picks.
Yeah,
and on herbs.
And just to be clear, the frontiersmen, like there is also a very different sense. Like now that you guys are in the city, you will experience it more and more. But you may be somewhat familiar with this. So, I was just explaining this to Rhinesker. The dialect, by the way, you guys should all have this written down. You can choose one of two dialects from being from Esteraria. They're both called Estrin, and one is called Old Estrin or New Estrin. New Estrin, they're both native languages. But there are different reasons why people would know either. New Estrin is more commonly spoke around the country. Everybody kind of speaks New Estrin. It's the national language. Old Estrin is like Latin speakers to Spanish speakers. Old Estrin is the surviving remnants of the language from a time prior to the Third Age. And it is like only spoken to people who study it around the schools of Esteraria. That being said, though, some super ancient tribes may still speak Old Estrin. But mostly Old Estrin is used by like the elite in Esteraria who want to seem hoity-toity by knowing Old Estrin.
My tribe would know Old Estrin.
Your tribe would actually know Old Estrin, yes. But if you want to say, what I will say is your tribe could know Old Estrin. It's not like a frequently taught language.
I think it would be mix of both for them.
Yeah. Honestly, that is very true. It's kind of like parts of it is kind of like a lost language, and the thing about like that is kind of the thing about the wild folk is they do use a mix of both, because what New Estrin is it's just like more words that didn't previously exist in Old Estrin. So if there's like a word that doesn't exist in Old Estrin, that's where New Estrin comes in, and it's kind of like a mixed match between the languages.
I like it.
So this is where you guys can choose if you know Old or New Estrin as well. Growkeeper, you probably would do the same, I'd imagine. Old Estrin with hints of New Estrin here and there. As people who pick up the language.
I was gonna ask, because I was like, I don't think I would know it from being smart or anything, but I just have an old race.
Yeah, that's kind of the irony of the old, like the old Estelosian people will like go study Old Estrin and be like, oh, we're better because we know this language, which makes us smarter. And then like people who have never been to school a day in their life and live out in the wilds are like speaking the same language, but they have no clue because they're so fucking sheltered. That's literally the joke.
That's how I think of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't even register as like a smart person thing.
Yeah, so everybody who uses Old Estrin in the cities is using it like people use Latin, where it's like, actually, you're supposed to say it with this part before the other part. It's like, oh, congratulations.
It's pronounced
I said it, which got the message across, which is how language is actually supposed to be used. So, who fucking wins in the end? Yeah.
That chameleon over there.
I think we should take the apartment that they gave us and then we'll escort the goblins out. Actually, we should make our little announcement.
I think we should take the apartment so the vampire doesn't kill us.
That too. That thing. Totally forgot that was a thing.
Nope, that's why I said we should take that because of our situation.
I didn't hear that. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, so he'll go. Sorry, they'll go. Yes. Well, fine. I will then prepare a apartment for you and your we'll call you emissaries for Brentfield and the goblinoids. We'll get you.
Don't ask us what we're called.
The Wild Walkers.
We don't know.
The Wild Walkers.
Going to. He goes.
It's literally what we are. We're the Wild Walkers.
I mean, we know what we're called. Are you okay, Hogs?
He goes, I would give you one
Have
of
I ever
these
been?
manors in the rundown district, but that would be bad form. So
I don't
I'm
think we should
going
give-
to give you a apartment in the Lakeshore Rounds. It's a section down by the dock. Should have easy access to all the city centers from there. The last thing I would recommend is getting the townspeople on your side too. If public word is in your favor by the time you go seek aid from certain individuals, they'd be more willing to hear you out.
Miss Lander. Miss
Lander, just call me
Councilperson
Lander.
Lander, do you know of anyone that associates with the tribes in the Timberwolves?
I would recommend speaking to the spiritual advisor. She has been with us for some time, quite a while, in fact. And she probably does have some sort of association with them. That is the spiritual advisor Goldfrond. Finnan Goldfrond, spiritual advisor.
Finnan?
Yes.
Is this a male or female?
Female woman.
Okay.
She is a halfling woman.
High tower over people. I forgot that like Rhinoceros towers over.
Yeah, like
over
7
Do
feet.
you need-
Like you.
Yeah.
Would-
Me and Grovekeeper
Are
just
you
tower.
looking for something in the Timberwood Forest, or just trying to find like if they know someone? Because I mean, I know the Timberwood Forest.
We both know the Timberwood Forest.
Right.
my
That's why I'm like, why are you? What?
I'm trying to find someone that can send messages on orally for us.
Oh,
I mean, if
I
you
would-
want them,
I would also. They would also recommend checking out Lorbin as well. The King's Ranger. I'm sorry. That is if that's what you say, like that you're looking to send messages. Lorbin goes through the Timberwolf forests all the time. That as the King's Ranger, that's his job. He goes hunting in the Timberwolves forest. So
Would I have ever met him?
Like,
Would he have
otherwise,
come to the village before? I feel like he probably would have if he goes through. I would have met him.
Yes, there is a good chance he was the ranger employed by the previous king, now employed by the new king. So yes, honestly, you would have met him.
I believe I've met him when I was younger.
Yes, he is he is a half elf. He is now on in some years. He's got like these curly brown hair. He's been in the employment of the king for some time and is now in the employment of the new king.
So he would have known me as the.
He probably doesn't know you, but like.
Well, he would have
I
known
mean-
me as her apprentice. That's it.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yes. True. But not on like a first name basis, did you?
No,
True.
not at all.
Yeah, exactly.
But he would definitely have known me as her apprentice.
Yes.
Because I have been apprenticing under hers for years.
Lorbin knows 100% all the tribes in the Timberwolf Forest. That's his job, is to know them. But either of them would be a good resource, as it is also hers. If there's nothing else, he will show you to your apartment, and we will end the session there, I think.
that sounds like a plan. For me.
Especially if you guys are going to address the town. But we might want to wait for the most persuasive person of the
Yeah.
party to. So
We are going to do that.
So
I mean, just the rest of the party as well.
yes, that's true.
I'll do it.
I will say, oh no, it was in this. I was gonna say, I will say, I did like, you weren't here, but last week I made the crews go in for what everybody thought was going to be a charisma check. Instead, I made him make a Constitution saving throw because he took a hit of the chieftain's peace pipe.
It was really
Which I
funny.
had been smoking the whole time.
Hogs tried to convince him earlier, so I'm like, Hogs, make a persuasion check, and Hogs is like, come on, and like fucked it up, and then he sends Cruz in to do it the next day, and I'm like, Cruz,
And I've got
make
an
a
18
saving
con.
throw. But it all worked out, so it was really funny. Sometimes it doesn't have to be a persuasion check to convince them.
True.
But yeah, anyway, we will pick up there next week as we get into the political intrigue portion of this campaign. And now we have to spend a session swaying votes. What is this, Congress? Anyway, tune in next week while we see if this good old
We lobby.
town of Valomeer is going to let in the poor old goblins who are being chased down by the evil order of Avarex. Tune in next week,
Probably not.
6 p.m. Saturdays, Woes of the Wildland here on Jokes, Tales, and Critical Fails.